Boom! Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, Fun Day. What's going on, everybody? How are you? How are you? Well. I have had a very odd day today. Only because I think I was catching up on sleep or something. I don't know. We went real late last night. I think Kim Chow slept here like around 3 or so in the morning. We were hanging out all night, and so I slept little into the morning, and then I ended up taking a nap this afternoon. And next thing I know, I like slept through dinner. It's crazy, crazy. I had some extra pizza for lunch and passed out. so, but a lot of stuff actually took place this morning, especially in the courts. So we're going to go over some of that. We're going to have Richard come on here in a little bit. He's going to explain one of his filings and actually something that's going to show up on the docket tomorrow. And also told you it wasn't going to take long for someone to start talking again and harassing again. And there he went. So we're going to go over that in just a sec. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Christine, Sylvie, Georgia. Hello, Linda, Melcado. How are you? I did, Sylvie. I definitely did. I knew it wasn't going to take long, but he sure as hell did. Not only did he come back and defame, but he harassed with it. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I guess we should start off like from this morning. So when I got up this morning, I started doing a bunch of stuff that obviously needs to be done. I work on this believe it or not, guys, this is actually a daily thing because there's so much of it that has to be taken care of. And it turns out somebody, there's a couple cases that are still out there. People have been questioning about a case that was silent for like a year and it's kicked into gear, and that would be Leslie's case with Hales, and it's kicked into gear. They literally tried to do something, and they tried to deem her or they're trying to deem her a vexatious litigant, and with that, she's never had a case get dismissed on the merits. She's voluntarily dismissed cases, and here's the funny thing: she's a retired lawyer. Of course, she has tons of cases in the court system. So it's just very strange how they're trying to do that. However, Mr. Hales himself has had how many cases get dismissed with prejudice? At least 8, and all for failure to state a claim within how long of a period of time? Oh, past 6 months. Yeah, that's right. So, and you can be deemed a vexatious litigant even if you have an attorney representing you. And your attorney can get into some, issues with the bar when he's filing all these things fully knowing that they're wrong and unethical and frivolous and, have no merit. And if you can prove that it's especially, all for content and for profit, which every one of us can, it's going to go, it's only going to go a certain way. You know what I mean? So anyhow, with all these channels that are out there, following the Hales narrative, following, the echoing, let's just say, echoing the narrative, whether it's following Hales' bullshit or it's following Megan and Tug's, they're the echo chamber. That's exactly what they are. And it turns out there's a lot out there that have a lot to say and think that because Hales and Megan Fox and Tug get away with it, that they'll get away with it too. And what they're finding out is they're not. So little by little, all these little channels are, if they have any type of privacy issues, or defamation or anything like that, it's being noted to YouTube and YouTube's legal department. So and it's not just by you know one previous defendant. It's by some current stuff that's going on. So in doing all that, as you know, I have sent out cease and desist to let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six channels on YouTube. You may have only heard of four, but six channels have received a cease and desist by me alone. I know that Leslie has filed cease and desist, and it's funny because there's one channel that she sent one to. I believe it was today. It was today, in fact. Who was so worried about her name getting put out there, which kind of cracks me up because it's like you are blasting someone's name on your channel, but you're worried, Heather, about everybody finding out what your real name is, and you're blasting it. And then when you receive a cease and desist, you forward it over to Tug, who then threatens people saying they better not mention your name, Heather. Well, you do realize that was kind of stupid because you're continuing on with this drama. So you obviously want to be in a lawsuit because you have 10 days, now 9, in which to remove the stuff that you were harassing Leslie with. And you get what it's kind of like you just double down, right? Oh, she's an absolute hypocrite. Absolute hypocrite. Squid pro quo. Attacking Leslie, saying, which a lot of people have, in regards to Leslie using Botox. Yet here's Heather showing images of her wrinkles and how she needs Botox, but she's attacked Leslie about Botox. That's kind of funny. Very, very hypocritical. But so anyway, so this person's now, forwarding over to Tug. Tug's now threatening people if Heather's name is mentioned, that he's going to start attacking everybody. Well, I guess have at it, because the second she files a lawsuit, her name is public. Not just her name and address. The same shit that you guys do on a daily basis with doxing everybody. This isn't doxing. That's her name. Period. Okay? You guys post Leslie's name, her first name, last name. You guys have done all this crazy shit to Leslie. You've gone to where her job is. You tried to attack her. You called her a disbarred lawyer. Every one of you've done that, and it's not true. So that's defamation. And you've attacked her in so many ways. You've gone to, her school. So you attacked her in her legal profession, and you've also attacked her with her teaching profession. So basically what's going on right now is Leslie's not letting anybody get away with it anymore. So cease and desist have gone out. She has filed things with the case in state court that has to do with Jeremy, George, Megan, and Tug. And there's a possibility more people can be added to this, by the way. But that's already filed, and it's already been out there. So now what she's done is she has sent out admissions that Megan has to answer within a certain period of time. Jeremy mentioned that tonight, which is kind of funny. And he's wrong in his order, but okay, take what you want. So all that has gone on today. And let me just make sure that I got this. Yeah, so I mean, she's filed everything. She filed a cease and desist. She filed. I'm sorry, she didn't file a cease. She sent Squid Pro Quo a cease and desist. And as a matter of fact, she even sent 2, I believe. And because there's also a notice of asset preservation, because she basically found a lot of information. And Squid Pro Quo also said it helps her case that she knows the DA. And what does that have to do with being sued in Florida State Court? Huh? I don't know. Squid's throwing out things out there just like a couple other people. Oh, I know this person, I know that person. Well, guess what? There's certain things that they can't do nothing about. Don't know, don't care, Kim. Um, so let's see. I think that there's a couple other channels out there too that she plans to add to the lawsuit. But let's say, yeah. See, she's got evidence in these cases in regards to defamation and stuff that's literally just black and white. And you know, I mean, kudos to her because this is really it's insane. It's out there. It's laying out there. And to me, it's like, are you willing to lose your home or your future income because you have 5 or 6 videos or 8 videos, depending on what channel you are, going after someone? I mean, technically, you've already said what you had to say. Um, you could be sued for that, but she's basically giving you an out. Remove it, or you'll find yourself in a lawsuit. What's kind of funny is I've seen like Megan's comments trying to blackmail Leslie into removing stuff, and it's all crazy going through all this stuff, guys. It really and truly is. So, Heather, I suggest you actually talk to a lawyer before you're making any more stupid moves, because is it really, really worth losing your channel, possibly getting demonetized? Is it worth it to you? That's what you have to ask yourself. This is the whole saga that has brought all this in. And these are the repercussions that's going on because you took on the narrative to attack and harass people. You haven't really attacked me. I've seen one thing on there, which, I'm pretty sure was reported, but, you went after Leslie, and I saw everything that you did on Leslie. So, yeah, that's harassment. And you lied. You totally defamed her. You actually said that Leslie filed bankruptcy, and Leslie never filed bankruptcy. Never filed bankruptcy, and that's what she said. So, you can't be lying. You have an opinion. You can have an opinion, but when you're stating things as fact, that becomes defamation. Okay, and if you're following somebody else's narrative, you better vet your shit. And if you're following Megan and Tug, they don't vet nothing. Nothing. Okay, and you're going to see a lot of that because you're going to see what happens in court cases with them. So, my opinion is she needs an attorney. Or remove this shit. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Remove it. But either way, all right, so that's what's going on with Heather, quid pro quo. And so then, obviously, we come to our fun Sunday Fun Day shit, right? Because that's what a lot of you want to hear about. So, all right. Where's George? Does anybody know where George is yet? Just wondering. So, tonight, everybody thought, it was probably just going to be another, storage thing, whatever, some boring stuff that's been going on the past couple of weeks, and like I said, that was great. That was fabulous. No drama, no nothing. Stop hurting people. And as you know, here I do comment and reaction. And so here we are. We're back at it again because tonight he's decided to start talking about using Michelle and her deposition that she was not at this week. And he keeps trying to blame it on her dodging, just like Robbie dodged his deposition. No, Robbie wasn't served properly, and he did not have to go to a deposition. So, and he's just lying about it. Oh, hold on. As a matter of fact, speaking of the devil. Hello, Robert.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
I'm on hold for Lisa Lee.
Elevator music.
I have a bunch of screens back here, so I didn't even see you. You're like at the very bottom of the list. So.
Oh my God! Hello, everybody. Hello.
Get those hellos in there, Robbie. I'm trying to get through German as fast as I can.
Hello, everybody. Hello, one and all. I hope everybody's doing well. I am still wet.
I was gonna say, how many people saw Robbie get dunked in the dunk tank today?
Oh God. I got dunked twice. Z got dunked twice.
I didn't see Z getting dunked.
He got dunked
It's on
twice.
Gatorlands.
Oh, okay. Hey, a little
And
bit.
we had a blast. Hello, Patty. Hello, Little Bit. Hello, F. Pate. Hello, Noel Breeze. Hello, Jack. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Lori. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Betty D. Hello, Gina Bear.
I'm just gonna say ditto.
Yeah. Ruth, Kim.
It's going
I
by
noticed
too
that. I asked that myself. I don't know. I thought it was funny he had a pink phone. But I'm sure they have all burner phone. They probably use old phones. It's probably an old phone of George's. Who knows? But anyway, all right, so you came in at the beginning of me talking about this. So let me just get through some of this.
Okay,
So,
get through this and then I'll say hello to everyone after.
yeah, and then Rich will be coming on shortly. So, all right. So obviously, no George. Then the alphabet song. These camp songs crack me up. By the way, it's no longer Memorial Day weekend, Germ. You really need to step up your game. You know. So he starts off and he starts talking about how Lips is filed and refers to Tug. You know, another co-conspirator that he refers to with that. And he starts saying how Lips refers to Leslie. So in case y'all don't know. But he starts saying how she filed these things on a Sunday. Well, guess what? Shockets filed things on Sundays too, Saturday even as well. But what he seems to think and told the world today is that Leslie broke the law when she filed these motions, right? And he even gave a date and time and, the whole 9 yards. And it's like, excuse you, jackass. Now, this isn't a federal court case. This is a state case, okay? And so, no, she did not break the law at all, okay? It's part of an e-portal. Anybody can have an account with the e-portal. Socket uses the e-portal. Her husband, Michael, uses the e-portal. She has an account there. I can have an account there. Now, as far as the e-portal in Florida is concerned, Florida licensed attorneys can register using their Florida bar number. The portal validates the identity against the Florida bar member database. And, use that number plus at least like an email address to sign up for that. But self-represented litigants, pro se filers, you don't need to be a lawyer. Self-represented litigants can register with the Florida court's e-filing portal for free. It lets you file documents, receive court communications, and access the portal 24/7. So, Jerem, you defamed her again by saying she broke the law. Okay? And I believe with that, I think Socket was notified about you while you were live doing that. And so you actually, didn't you like step away for a minute? Was that a phone call that you received? I wonder who that was. Yeah. Because you didn't seem the same when you came back. Yeah. So I think you received, yeah. What happened was he lied about Leslie. Socket found out what he said. And I think Socket called him while he was live because he walked away for a minute. Okay. I said he had to step away. And I think it was because he got a phone call. That's my opinion. Who knows? But he literally blatantly lied and defamed about Leslie tonight on his show. And it's already recorded. Don't even bother erasing it. Doesn't matter. So he talked about that. He talked about Lips and Chips and how they like to meet on Sundays. No, like I said, a lot of people file their shit on Sundays. They file it at night. So it's in there in the morning. So, Jerem, stop spreading, he's just manipulating and exaggerating bullshit. So you're debunked again. Nobody broke the law tonight at 6:17 or whatever the hell you said. Nobody broke the law today. Possibly you. So he talked about interrogatories and whatever that she had filed. Their admissions, Jerem, not interrogatories, their admissions. He admitted quite a few times tonight that he doesn't make the thumbnails. He was very, very adamant about that because he repeated quite a few things over and over tonight. But he said like 3 or 4 times that he did not make the thumbnails. He thinks that Georgia's going to be next because she made the thumbnails, and now he thinks Leslie's whole case is going to be about the thumbnails. Wrong, but you think what you want. Let's see. He's in $539,000 in legal fees because of all these freaks, felons, and fools. No, you created all this, jackass. You blew your money. Nobody else did. Where's George? Where's George? So he was gearing up for. He started talking about memberships and why memberships are, fun because he doesn't have to, put a game on, whatever. I don't know about that because I'm the same way whether I'm on a membership or not. I don't fake shit when I go live. I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. He obviously admitted tonight to being somebody different. I hang out every night, but so I don't know. That's how he does it. At least he admits that. So he said that authorities are looking into the mail theft, and that's all he said tonight about the mail theft. So that whole thing he brought up last week about the Florida mail disappearing. Someone's stealing cash out of the mail. Robbie?
Yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
smoke screen, quick.
Yeah. So he says authorities are looking into the mail thefts. He had only one package for Germ today in Ohio, which, hey, you have 730,000 subs. You only had one package? That kind of surprises me. And then whoever sent him a piece of mail was from New Zealand and how he went to New Zealand. And whoever this was sent anti-hail stickers, the ecosystem stickers. I'm like, oh my God. And then he got into Michelle's depot, which he repeated the same thing quite a number of times because he's talking about how, John had this scheduled, emergency surgery and whatever. He kind of repeated it so many times. And how it was just on this date. Well, first off, Robbie, you know how they call you Dodgy Robbie?
Yeah.
Or he did. Because you dodged a depot. No, you didn't dodge a depot. You weren't served properly to be deposed. Okay,
Right.
And that's the fact. Jack, he's been running with that line for a long time. All of us have, right? So, anyhow, he's trying to say Michelle did the same thing. Well, here's the thing. I'm talking to Robbie, and I'm talking to the peeps. We're live.
Oh, you're lying.
Yeah. So, anyhow, so he's trying to say Michelle dodged this depot again. And first of all, no, she didn't. When you are setting up a depot, your lawyer is supposed to confer with their lawyer, or Michelle's lawyer, and you're supposed to pick a date. Okay. And if you don't, one's chosen for you. Well, her lawyer did not confer with shit.
Lucinda,
Okay.
hello.
It was scheduled on April 28th, she said. Okay.
Hi, Kim.
So he was going to get his hellos in. So anyhow, it was picked. The date was picked for her. There was no conferring, nothing. And meanwhile, I think Shockett knew it was John's birthday, so they picked that date to piss John off.
Hello, Kim D.
However, okay, and you all know this, guys. When you go to a doctor and you're setting
Hello,
up your follow-up appointment or your surgery date or whatever, you know that it's usually weeks out. Okay,
Hi,
your next appointment
Bonnie.
is weeks out. So, and that's what happened. So John chose to actually have it on his birthday. So
I got to talk to you later.
Who?
Bonnie.
Okay. So, that's what they did. And then all of a sudden this turns out being the day. So John had his surgery. I've seen actually pictures of the after surgery. He provided a letter to the court. And, there you have it, Gina.
Hi, Gina.
So that's what they did. That's what you're supposed to do. If something happens, something's occurred. And there's a hearing set up, Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne.
So, there's a hearing set up in regards to this. And I believe it's June 9th,
hello.
I think. Don't quote me on that. I think it's June 9th. So they're going to go over that then. So there was no dodging of nothing. If she dodged it, that means she would have just not appeared and not said a word. There was stuff filed in the bankruptcy court. So they all knew this wasn't happening. That is King Paco.
Hello. Thank you.
So anyhow, so they knew Michelle wasn't going. Okay, so they knew beforehand. They did the same thing to me. I spoke to Shaka the day before my depot was supposed to be, and I told him I wasn't going to be there, and he still acted like he went. Why? So he could charge money for being there. That's why. Okay. And Jeremy, my thing was at like 10 o'clock in the morning, And Jeremy at 8 o'clock was saying I was dodging my depot. Well, how would you know that if it's 8 o'clock in the morning? It's 2 hours before I'm even supposed to be there. See, people don't realize these little details and how he's lying and trying to create content. So anyhow, so what I'm saying is Michelle did not dodge nothing. They were informed she wasn't going to be there. They knew she wasn't going to be there. And yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he has to pause. So
no, she's trying to hear Lisa. She told me to shush.
It is. It's all done for content. All of it. Every bit of it. And we have the patterns for every one of those channels to prove it. It's all laid out black and white. So, anyhow, are you done?
Yeah.
You're not going to say hello to anybody else?
Yeah, I said hello to everybody.
Are you leaving?
Oh,
okay. You're coming back, right?
He needs that.
The-
Your husband let them be. Let them be. Thank you. Gabe's birthday is on Tuesday. We're kind of been celebrating it since last night. I love it when we said past pattern shows the future. Oh yeah, did you hear that tonight? Past pattern shows the future. The second he started saying that, the next sentence, I was just laughing. I was already laughing.
What did he say?
That patterns show the future. And he started talking about people and patterns and how they're toxic and stuff. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is how he knows what to do and what he's been doing this whole time because he knows patterns. You know, the guy went through therapy because of his own family. You know what I'm saying? He had to for his kids. He knows all about this crap. And this is how he's trying to talk about other people, right? And acting like he's this experienced person. He went into bragging about his master's degree again and stuff.
He does not have a master's. Now it's a master's degree. Please.
Oh, yes, he did. He went into all that. So, anyhow, so he just kept going on and on and on about John and Michelle over and over and over again. The dodging of it, the surgery. He does this. He kept repeating the same shit. My God. But here's the funny thing, though. He bragged to everybody that I was the one that was going to get deposed first in the bankruptcy court. Remember? I was the one. I am nothing. I'm being deposed for this bankruptcy thing. And there's really no reason why because, hello, I'm not in control of anything given to me under anybody's name. So there you go. Anyway, he starts showing proof of the knapsacks and the school supplies being delivered to Egypt, right? He pulls out this phone. It's a pink phone. Obviously, it's one of George's old phones or something. I don't know. I don't care. But he starts showing videos thinking, well, no, everybody talks about this didn't happen. Well, no one's saying it didn't happen. We know you got all the school supplies and stuff. But we also know things were sent over at one point, and you got more than that. And it looks like they were at Christmas stuff. But whatever. I mean, I don't really care. So I start showing all the videos of us wrapping presents for all the kids that we did things for, too. Because he starts bragging about everything he's done and how, you know, basically you're attacking someone who's done all these good things. And we're all stalking him. You know, did you get Gabe Spider-Man Big Boy Underpants?
Stalking you.
What? Huh?
You stalker, you.
Yeah. And, you know, it's like, you know, you don't understand, like, where do you get stalker from? Okay? You have Tug and Megan acting like they're reporters on my life now, which is hilarious. But meanwhile, this was all about you taking a family to court and harassing them. Okay? And you set other people out. You've gone to attack other people. You've tried to sue other people. And each and every one of those people, you had your minions go and attack constantly. And because I'm still here defending the family, defending myself, defending the lies and the bullshit that every one of your channel, you and your minions literally put out there on a daily basis and harass me with, lies, defame me, I have every right to defend myself, and I'm going to. Nothing's going to stop me from telling the truth. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide in my life. Neither does my husband. Okay? We have nothing to hide. So, you know, I'm here, and I'm telling the truth about all of it. And I got news for you. And Leslie's going to tell the truth about all that, too. And, you know, they want to talk about FOIAs. Get ready for the new FOIAs that are coming, because I got some coming. And this is going to be interesting, because all you freaks out there, you trolls that he's calling freaks. Okay, you guys think that there was no meeting up? Well, we'll see about that. Okay, so anyhow, um, so he starts talking about the stalking again. That a YouTuber stalked him to fund their life. Now it sounds like you stalked your neighbor to fund your content for your YouTube so you could profit even more money. That's exactly what you did. Because you tried to do with almost every one of your neighbors in Otter Creek. Once you learned, you got content and made more profit going after Maryland Raby in Ohio. That's what you did. Okay, so you were trying as hard as you could. We know you look at the algorithms. We know that you follow all the the trending stuff going on YouTube. And at that point, there was a trending thing with Bad Neighbors, and you tried to jump on it. You even suggested to Robbie to do content on his neighbor, and he said no. Yeah. Okay, and then he even suggested that I tried to do one on my bad neighbor. And the reality is, out of all these people, I'm the one with the bad neighbor. I'm the one with the bad neighbor. And I just showed a couple of things of this wacko across the street, doing crazy stuff. But I didn't even jump on a series. It was just shorts. And I was done with it. It was over. I didn't try to do nothing. I didn't make... If I wanted to, I could still be doing this bad neighbor story. Because I actually have one. Okay? But I'm not going to subject a friend of mine to her domestic violence issue the way Jeremy... I just won't do that. If she wants to tell her story, that's something else. And that'll be when she decides to, if she does. So, anyhow. So, this is where, again, he started... he was bragging about his masters, Robbie. And then started talking about patterns of some... That's what he was talking about, because he was saying he has got a master in this, a master in that, and he knows patterns about people being toxic and verbally beating people up.
His degree is from a Bible college.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even like a Christian college, or it's a Bible college.
Yeah. So then that's when he started mentioning me. He talked about he mentioned me and said Felisa and how the Sumter County Sheriff's Office have not contacted him to this day. Totally opens and admits that, right? Guys, don't you remember him doing videos? I believe it was a short and a video. And he did it on his live, I believe, too, of him talking to the sheriff's department, how the Sumter County Sheriff was calling him, and how he was laughing, saying the sheriff was mocking me. But tonight, he said that he still has not received a call from the Sumter County Sheriff. And guess what? I knew that. I told y'all that. Because I talked to the detective. I know what the detective's plan is or was. So, yeah, I already knew that to be true. He's the one that lied, and he admitted it tonight that he has not been contacted by them. So that's number one. So then, again, the depot stuff. Here, again, dude, you confer. Your shotgun should have conferred to make the date. End of story. So this time when he starts talking about the depot and John's, supposed emergency surgery, he starts going off and talks about how childcare, that, Michelle had to take John because, she's the only one who could. And then they had no childcare for Harley. First of all, Harley's childcare is none of your business. And then he went into everyone mocking the childcare. Why can't bad neighbor Tina, who's actually good Tina, why couldn't she have watched her? Why couldn't Joy have watched her? Mentioned Joy's grandson and accused her grandson of doing something that he should have been arrested for. Total accusations, total allegations. Hold on, I wouldn't have just popped up on my computer here. Get rid of that. Let's see. And then he mentioned Mimi and saying how Mimi's scared of Michelle and John. And apparently he said she wouldn't even drive by Michelle and John's property until this, I forget what he called the fence. He called the fence something until they voluntarily, helped. And I'm just sitting here like, who are you to start designating people who should watch, someone's child? You have no right to do that. He mentioned Marla, started making fun of mocking Marla again. Then he brought me into it. He started to lose it on me. And stop talking like this, and didn't you? I'm like, oh my God, with this guy. And all of a sudden, his eyes are getting watery and stuff. But anyway, so like I said, most doctor's appointments in Florida are booked, a month in advance. I know mine are. So he's just foaming at the mouth. But anyway, you don't get to schedule anyone's child care, especially a child that has health issues. Germ. And then he went on to say that a child's diet is not a life or death situation. You do not know what this child that you speak about for 3 freaking years. You still do not know the health condition or the status of this child. Yet you speak about her knowing things, and you don't know shit. Keep this child out of your freaking mouth. It is psychotic how much you mention this child. And we all know you just do it to get at Michelle. Okay? You've made people, you've incited these calls to CPS. There has been over 40 calls and visits with CPS, all unfounded from you and your freaking minions. Okay? Leave this child alone. You don't know what's in her diaper, if she's wearing one or not. You have no idea. Shut your mouth. Stop lying, because you're defaming them on a constant basis and harassing them as well. And I'm telling you right now, there is a law enforcement group that will make sure that you are held accountable for harassment. Absolutely. And you've gone after so many people and harassed them. So lots of people have their ducks in a row, and this is outright harassment. Tonight and every damn time you've mentioned her name, mine, Rich's, Robbie's, Dave's, all of us, Ray, every one of us. Okay, so you're going to be held accountable, and that's what he's doing. He starts blaming George for all the thumbnails. He mentioned Fleece of Flea again, called me a man, said that Gabe had a boyfriend again. Now, and then also accuses of doing drugs, doing oxys. Me, of all people. I've never touched anything like that in my life. Okay, Gabe, no. I mean, this is like such bullshit. Apparently, he's sending out codes for I watch so you don't have to now. I know this was a bullshit joke, but whatever. I guess he thinks he's like 13 years old. Lisa, you and Poppy are crying victim in the same phrase, he said. Oh, yes. He had death threats in there. Yes. So he had that as well. So I said, oh, bingo, there you go. That's all I need. There's the harassment again. There's the defamation for tonight. As much as he's, a little quiet for 2 to 3 weeks, there you go, and there we have it. Thank you very much, Jerm. But anyway, so he goes again and starts attacking Michelle about her comments about John Cook. Hey, you know what? I don't care what you say. They share their lives together in whatever capacity they want to. People argue, people fight. They know each other well. If she's talking to someone she thinks is her friend and says something or whatever, I don't care. The fact of the matter is they're there together, living on a property and sharing their lives with each other in whatever capacity they want to. None of your business. None of your business. So he also, again, accused Michelle of making signs, calling him something that's not true. I don't think Michelle would even do that to her daughter. But anyway, then the pollen in the eyes, the bullshit stories, whatever. Anyway, here's the thing. Jeremy, you're the stalker. You stalk everybody. The drive-bys. You got the cameras across the street. We all know it. It's there. It's evident. It's black and white, dude. You can't get away with it. And the court will see it. So anyway, he just constantly repeats himself. He mentioned me. Talked about Lupa Junk again. It's like 4 different times that he's mentioned me. He says he's having problems sleeping, and now starts playing the victim. Poor Jerem, he can't sleep. He's a victim in sitting in boxes in front of the cameras and stuff. Where's George? He has kidney stones. Like nobody else has any of these. Just whatever. It was repetitive stuff all night, over and over again about John's surgery. Him canceling a flight. He mentioned that like 5 times. Anyway, I don't know what this 15-minute Mark Feather thing is. Someone tell me about that, because I don't get that. But anyway, he knew that Michelle wasn't going to be at the depot because they were warned. So what Jeremy he just doesn't realize Michelle's bankruptcy is not a case against Germ. It is not a case for Germ. Germ is not the plaintiff. This is Michelle's bankruptcy. It is not his case. Okay? And she isn't responsible for his lawyers that he wants to bring up to intervene in her bankruptcy. She's not responsible for that. Okay? So get that out of your head. You know, and by the way, there's nothing on that Elvis shelf but, you know, 2 stuffies and I guess 2 toys. So you were dusting, you just forgot to put all the Elvis stuff back. Whatever. Anyway, where's George? Where's George? So anyway, oh, and by the way, who is the girl that was cackling in the background? Did anybody hear that? There was a girl cackling in the background. Who's that? Wasn't George, I know that. We know her cackle. So anyhow, guys, that's it with Germ. I'm going to bring Rich on and say hello to Rich. The Hale saga is, well, not the saga, but Sunday Spunday part of Germ, anyway, is over. And here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Richard. Hi.
Hello, everybody. What's going on?
What's
Just
happening,
getting
brother?
through.
It's starting to get good, right?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Getting through all the stuff I needed to get through because I know you got some fun stuff to talk about.
Oh, we got fun things to talk about tonight. I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
told
already
Sylvia.
started. I pre-gamed a little bit. I made myself a little cocktail. So
Oh.
Oh God, I gotta go make a cocktail.
I have my.
yeah, I got actually. Want to see what I got? I got some good stuff. I'll show everybody. This is what I wicked dolphin coconut.
You like the coconut rum, huh? Is that
It's what
rum?
it does. Less sugar. It's got it's like a sugar, like a minimal sugar coconut rum. It's really, really good.
You like coconut rum, huh?
Well, I made this is a drink to make sure that I get all my vitamins. It's got oranges and coconuts and cherries and strawberry. It's got all this fruit in it, so it's a fruity coconutty type thing.
Wow.
Got
That's
enough sugar to kill a damn elephant.
That's right. That's what I'm
Elephant
gonna do.
diabetes.
Oh my goodness.
That's
oh my
right.
goodness. So what we got, Richard?
What we got?
I'm looking
What
at
we
the summary that you sent me, but I know you're going to go all of it, so I'm just going to put that aside and let you talk about it.
Well, here's the point. Okay. Anybody who's been following the stuff this week, it sounded like, media week at the Super Bowl because Jerm filed a response, an opposition to my motion to dismiss. And
Right.
you go on this whole ecosystem. You went to Mr. Coop, you went to, Squid Girl, you went to, you heard from Piglet and Tug and all those idiots. They were like, oh my God, Jeremy filed an opposition and Paint Chips this and Paint Chips that and Paint Chips the other thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody that the emperor has no clothes tonight. That's what I'm going to do. That's what tonight is going to be about. It's that Germ doesn't have a pot to piss in illegally in this case.
Right.
And he's in big trouble. He's in really, really big trouble legally, one way or the other. Either the lucky thing that he could get is if this case gets dismissed. Like he's lucky if that happens. I'm kind of hoping the judge doesn't dismiss it, and then I get to go to discovery, because then it's going to get very fun. Because one or two things can happen on a motion to dismiss. As you know, Lisa, you can get everybody dismissed from the case, and the case is over. That happened to you.
Right.
What Germ is trying to say is that no, the case should continue, and we should go to discovery, and Luthmann should be forced to answer. And if I'm forced to answer, I have to answer according to the statute, right? I have to answer according to what I'm being charged with. And if I do that, it's going to get very bad, not just for Germ, but for everybody else who was in the car that night.
Right.
Because the claim is that there was an actual sexual encounter in a car, and that people were there. He was there with another journalist and others, and that's what the video was that is the subject of this case.
Right.
And you know the video, Lisa. Robbie, you've seen this video. Everybody's here. Yeah. A lot of people have seen the video, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we're going to have some breaking news tonight.
Video.
I'm going to give some more explanation about the video. This is something that nobody knows about the video yet. We're going to actually put the video into context. And so if we have to go into discovery, then we're going to have to examine a whole bunch of evidence and a whole bunch of people. And so that context is going to be made clear today. Actually, who was present, because I'm going to talk about the statute too, because the statute is what's called the revenge porn statute. But they amended the statute very recently. And so they amended it. What this video is from, Lisa, from January of 2025, right? This video that he's talking about is what, almost a year and a half old?
Yeah.
Well, the statute that they're talking about for the revenge porn didn't take place until this year. It only got amended in October of last year. That was well after the lawsuit began, and it took charge, or it took effect only this year. So I'm not covered under that statute. I'm covered under the old statute. So Jerm didn't say that in his papers. He basically tried to pull a slick one and say that the new statute said. So what I did was I filed, and I sent for filing on Friday, a motion to the court. And we're going to go over that motion in a little bit to the court, because usually in Florida, you don't get to do what's called a reply. You get to do a motion and then opposition. If you're from like New York, well, I'm from New York. You get to do a reply usually all the time. And you could win on a reply if the other side's an idiot. And in this side, they're an idiot. And I made a motion to do a reply. So I may very well win because they're idiots. And we're going to show everybody. And don't take my word for it. I want to hear what people think about this.
Right.
Because that's what we're doing today. We're doing, let's make sure the emperor has no clothes. Let's show he doesn't have a pot to piss in legally, that he's an idiot, that he's a moron, and keep going. And then his entire ecosystem as well, because they're running around like he puts in some papers and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you read his papers, and I didn't even bother responding to people. Well, I didn't respond to him because it's like Volpe. I sent it to Volpe. Volpe called me like 5 minutes later. He's like, dude, he spent like 8-9 pages talking about service, that he served you, that he did this, that he did that, that he did that. At the end of the day, at this point, do I care if he served me or not? He didn't serve me. I just have to show that he messed it up enough that I don't have to pay him fees. And guess what? What are the fees that he's going to get out of me? He's going to get bupkis. He's going to get guts out of me. He's not going to get a goddamn thing. Let him get a judgment against me for $5 million. I said, get in line, guy. Come on. So I'm not too worried about any of that. At the end of the day, the service stuff is going to end up where the judge is going to say, okay, you didn't serve him the right way, but I'll give you more time to serve him. And I'll say, Judge, let's not even play that game. I'll accept service at this point. I don't want to play a fucking game at this point. That's where this case is going to go. If this case is going to continue, it's going to turn into a goddamn zoo. And I'm going to be the goddamn ringmaster. This is going to be the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. Because what I'm going to do, and I'll show everybody in a little bit, I'm going to be making counterclaims. And the counterclaims against Jerm and all its co-conspirators will be under something called the Lanham Act. I don't know if you know anything about that. Do you know the Lanham Act?
Do I know the Lanham Act?
You can harass people.
I've learned. It was a tort he tried to pull on me.
In the 11th Circuit in Florida, you could sue somebody under the Lanham Act and harass them for a year and a half. And it doesn't matter if they get dismissed from the case or not, but you can just harass them for a year and a half. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn how to harass people for a year and a half, because there's precedent in a case called Hales versus Preston. That's this case. That you can harass people for a year and a half for a baseless claim under the Lanham Act. That's what I'm going to do. So I have a whole bunch of people that are lined up for the Lanham Act, and it's going to be fun. And there's other claims too. I have claims, that are very specific claims. That's what you have to do with these courts. You have to be very, very specific. One of the other specific claims is under the Florida bestiality statute. We have Jeremy Hales as a crocodile copulator and an iguana rejecter and a lizard lover. And so, and he does things with alligators too. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be suing as next friend of the animals. And we're going to be suing for Jeremy Hales and his conspiracy with others to do, alligator copulation. He's a crocodile copulator and a iguana injector. We're going to sue him for that. That's going to be one of the things we sue him for. And I thought I saw a video with copulating alligators, jumping around, iguana lovers and Komodo dragons. So there'll be some people that are involved in that. And it's going to be a very, very sad, sorry day. And that's on top of all the
people need to realize the difference between sarcasm and being serious and the satire or parody of it all, which is what the main the video that you're talking about that we're actually going to show the video, guys. okay? Because there's a point to showing the whole thing, and this is going to be this is the video that is what the revenge porn is actually all
Well, you want
about.
to watch the video? Is the video up? That's a still shot of the video. You want the whole video?
Oh no, that's a still shot. No, that's fine then. I thought we were gonna watch the video. Okay,
I'll
it's
put
just a
the
still
video
shot.
up. The
No, it's
videos,
all right.
videos.
We'll do this, and then you'll show the rest of it later, right? So,
Yeah,
I'll
show the still shot. I don't want
all right.
to get you jammed up. I'll put it on my channel. I'll put it on my Substack. But at
All
this
right.
point,
So,
I don't
guys,
really see
because
where that's
this is part of the lawsuit, this is actual fair use. So, this is the still shot that everyone has seen from the video. Most of you actually have seen this video. And let me go from this. This is where, go ahead, Rich, you talk about it. This is the revenge porn that they're talking about going after.
This is what they're claiming under the revenge porn statute. And what it was created to do was very, very specific. It was created for a satirical purpose and created for a newsworthy purpose of critiquing how Jeremy Hales operates his ecosystem and how Megan Fox is basically, pimping herself out for Jeremy Hales as a media whore. And it's the audio in the video is not Jeremy Hales speaking. It's actually Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's the British guy who's a total asshole, and he talks about how he basically exploits women and sends them out on the street. And I put Jeremy's head on top of that, and I made the video, and I had Megan there and everything else, and I showed that he was pimping out Megan as his media whore. And that was the whole point of the video. It wasn't a crude way to say it, maybe. People have different tastes. But I think I made my point pretty well. Volpe didn't like it at first. The more he watched, he loved it. It encapsulated it correctly. So here's what the statute is, everybody. This is the ball game right here. The 2024 statute defines sexually cyber harass, which Jeremy is claiming I did. I sexually cyber harassed Jeremy Hales. That's what his claim is. As publishing to an internet website or disseminating electronically a sexually explicit image of a person that contains or conveys the personal identification information of the depicted person without the depicted person's consent. And here's the money. Contrary to the depicted person's reasonable expectation that the image would remain private for no legitimate purpose within the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to the depicted person. Now, I'm going to win on a lot of different clauses in here. The first one is a sexually explicit image of a person, right? There's no sexually explicit image on any frame of the video that I did. If anybody's seen it, you can say that. You'll know there's not one sexually explicit image in any frame of that video. At least, do you see any sexually explicit image in any frame of that video?
Absolutely not.
So that's number one. Number two, contains or conveys the personal identification information of the depicted person. Okay. His face, Jeremy Hales' face, he's claiming is his personal identification information. Jeremy's face. Jeremy's face, Jeremy being a public figure who has over 1 million followers across all platforms. He's a mega influencer. He's saying that his face is personally identification information. How retarded that is that he's saying that the pictures of himself that he puts up online, right? He's claiming that it's somehow personal identification information is on the same level as a social security number is, an address, a phone number. His face itself is so tied to him that it's a private personal identification information. It just doesn't make any sense. It's retarded. It's a retarded statement. Okay. Then the next part, without the depicted person's consent, he gets into a whole big thing about how I needed to get consent to him to use his face and do satire with his face. No, I do not need to do that. Do I need to call up President Trump every time I want to put his picture on in the paper? Do I want to call up Joe Biden when I make a video of him crapping his pants? No. When you're a public figure, you don't need the consent. So this statute is not written for that. This statute is not written for public figures. It's not written for satire. It's written for a private, intimate moment that got released when it shouldn't have been. Now, here's the money paragraph, or the money clause. Contrary to the depicted person's reasonable expectation that the image would remain private. So the words there are reasonable expectation and remain private. Think about that. So let's start with remain private first. This was never a private image of Jeremy Hales and Megan Fox and anybody else. This is a satire image that was created by Rich Luthmann. Okay, so there's no expectation that this thing would remain private in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But let's assume, for the sake of argument, right, that Jeremy's pleadings are true, because that's what they're going to do when they do this motion to dismiss. Then Jeremy has basically admitted that there was an intimate situation between Jeremy Hales and Megan Fox, and he said there was a journalist, there was others, and there was an intimate situation, and that I somehow got a picture of that intimate situation, and I released it, or I got a video of that intimate situation, and that's what he's basically saying. He's saying, and what case this is the Hulk Hogan versus Gawker case. This is an older case where they had a picture of Hulk Hogan in a sex video, and they released it. And there was they said that it was so, he thought it was going to be private, and it was so invasive and everything else. And so what Jeremy is stating is that I basically have a pornographic video of him that I released. Now, everybody's seen the video that he's talked about from January 2025. Lisa, does that look like a pornographic video that Jeremy had in his vault in his house that I somehow broke into and stole?
Absolutely not.
What do you about Robbie? What about you? You've probably seen some crazy shit in your life. You've seen a lot of animals. You've seen a lot of people. You've seen a lot of things. Is that in any way, shape, or form a crazy video, a pornographic video that he wouldn't want to get out?
Absolutely not.
So he's an idiot. He's a total idiot. He has no reasonable expectation of privacy in a video that I made.
Wouldn't you have had to have been in a relationship with him or her for any of that?
Well, it is what it is, right? We're going to get to that. That's the point. The point is that I'm going to get every one of them, and I'm going to have to subpoena them, and I have to talk about them, and to ask them what happened, who had sex with who, when, where, why, how.
Richard, what I want to know is how you got the combination for his safe to go in there and get that video.
You know what it was? I watched Spaceballs. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God. You're a genius.
Right. So that's what it was. And so that's what we did. We got it from our spectacular intel of watching 80s movies. That's how we got that. But then there's for no legitimate purpose. At the end of the day, what is Rich Luthmann? I'm a journalist. I'm a satirist. I'm a bit of a fucking clown. He's called me a clown before. So I'm a clown, right? Well, if I'm a clown, what do? I clown around, right? But using his own words. Paint Chips. I was like, Paint Chips the clown. I clowned around with him. This is something that he says he doesn't take me seriously. I have tracks of video, probably hours of video, him saying about Paint Chips, how I can't be taken seriously. So what is the legitimate purpose that I'm doing? Well, there's a news gathering and journalistic publication purpose, right? It's related to the news. Jeremy's is a public figure, and I'm talking about him. There's also a satirical purpose, talking about how he operates his ecosystem, right? And there's also, if I'm a clown, then I'm making just entertainment, for straight entertainment. So I have at least 3 legitimate purposes that he's given me. He's giving me at least 3 legitimate purposes. He's claiming that there's no legitimate purpose to what I do, and it's out of control. Then, with the intent of causing substantial and emotional distress to the depicted person. Well, there's a very famous case in the United States Supreme Court called Hustler Magazine versus Falwell and Jerry Falwell. So in that case, the Supreme Court said, if it's satire, no matter how distressing it is, if it's satire of a public figure, then it's totally constitutionally protected. You cannot sue somebody for emotional distress.
What do you consider a public figure? Like we all know Jeremy is, he's got 700 and almost 50,000 subscribers, right? So, but is a channel like Dave's or Ray's or mine, where we have 3,800, are we considered public figures too?
It depends. Like everything legally, you could be a limited purpose public figure with respect to the Jeremy Hales story. You may not be a public figure related to other things, but you could be for that. So there's something called a limited purpose public figure. Somebody like Michael Jordan, somebody like Wayne Gretzky, somebody like Donald Trump. They're people that everybody knows. And so they're public figures right away. Jeremy Hales is pretty much, he's not a public figure like that. He doesn't have it like that. He's not Tom Hanks.
He is.
He's not Bill Gates, but he puts himself out there as that. He's a mega influencer. So he's going to get held to that higher standard. But smaller people, unless they inject themselves out there, don't become, public figures. They could be limited purpose public figures. And then when you're engaged in a lawsuit, you get what's called litigation privilege in the lawsuit. So you can say kind of whatever you want. You're kind of protected from what you say. And if you're in the lawsuit, it's a public document. So they can talk about the public document or anything related to it kind of all they want. So that becomes the issue as well. So that's where we are. Jerm is a public figure here, and he does not have any ground, no leg to stand there. He has no grounds to turn around and say, I have emotional distress because Richard Luthmann published a video about me. And he's claiming the video is a private pornographic video that he had. He kept private himself, and that he never wanted to get out and that type of thing. So, yeah, and here we go. There's the lawsuit. So I'm blowing up this lawsuit. And so, just watch. I have all these people there on the right-hand side of the screen, and we're going to, they may very well be co-defendants with, when I bring the counterclaims. They may be counterclaim defendants. I may bring every one of those people in the case. We'll see. Don Lemon, I think, was in the car with Jeremy that night because he talks about a journalist. What other journalists do we know besides Don Lemon? Because we know that Megan Fox isn't a journalist. She's just a breadstick eater. Little piglet. Yeah. Piglet herself. Piglet. Hello, Piglet.
Journalist.
So she's a little piglet. She's not a journalist. So that's what we got. So I'm trying to say that satire is revenge porn, and if that's what they think, then that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have fun with this. I can't wait to have fun with this because this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold the mirror up to these people. Here we go. Now, this is something that I filed, and I'm going to start talking about everyone to this. So let's see. Okay, this is what I filed the other day. Defendant Richard A. Luthmann Jr.'s motion for leave to file limited reply, plaintiff's response in opposition to the motion to dismiss count 2 and propose limited reply. So what does that mean? You don't get a reply as of right in Florida federal court, right? I said that before. You need to go ask the court. So I'm asking the court for permission, right? Defendant Richard Luthmann, appearing pro se and special without waiving any preserved defense, respectfully moves for leave to file the limited reply set forth below. The reply is confined to one narrow legal issue raised or made materially ambiguous by plaintiff's response. Which version of Florida statute 784.41 governs count 2? And that's the point. The 784.049, the revenge porn statute, got amended, right, after this happened. This is January 2025, and what Jeremy alleges is that I released this, this private video of him, because that's under the statute, that's what it says. The new statute is a little bit, more broad, but that statute doesn't apply. It's the old statute, right? And so the plaintiff's response argues that Florida's sexual cyber-harassment statute broadly covers, quote, any image and contends that a manipulated or fabricated image falls within the statute. That argument does not sufficiently address the operative statutory text enforced at the time of the alleged January 2025 publication. So it was done in January 2025. You can't use the new statute if it was under the old statute. The new statute wasn't on the books yet. The controlling version was the 2024 version of 784.49, not the later amended version enacted Chapter 2025-84 laws of Florida. 2584 took effect on October 1st, 2025. The challenge Substack publication is identified in the pleadings dated January 26, 2025.
Piper, did you put it all away?
What?
No, go ahead. He was talking to Piper.
The timing issue is therefore dispositive, meaning that it settles the whole thing. That it's the older statute, or at a minimum, important enough that a short reply will assist the court to avoid legal error, reconsideration motion practice, or an appeal on an avoidable statutory issue. So I'm saying that this is a clear issue of law. It's what law is on the books and what law applies when the actual video that he claims from January 2025, what law is on the books. The proposed reply does not raise a new ground for dismissal. Defendant's motion already argued that count 2 fails because the complaint does not plead dissemination of any private, intimate image that the plaintiff reasonably expected would remain private. The proposed reply addresses plaintiff's statutory response argument and clarifies the 2024 statute controls the Rule 12b6 analysis. Then I had the certification, and I tried to get Shaka on Friday. I emailed him and I called his office. I even gave him a stipulation to try to avoid this motion. By the time I had gone down to the UPS store to send this, I got a call, or not a call, but an email back from him that said that they believe that their papers cover this, which I don't know how that they could say that, but it's still, I put it in there that I would supplement if necessary. So I said when he was unavailable when I called, that's true, and I sent this in. But after that, he did try to tell me, we're not, if you want to file it, you got to do what you got to do. We think that we're right. That's basically what he told me. He's a moron, but that's what they do. And here's my proposed reply. So that's my motion, right? And then this is the reply that I want them to put in. Defendant files this limited reply on one issue. Count 2 must be analyzed on the 2024 version of Florida Statute 784-49 because the allegedly actionable publication occurred in January 25, and the 2025 amendments did not take effect until October 1st, 2025. Lisa, what do you think? You think that's a pretty good argument?
I think so.
I
Absolutely.
think you got it covered there.
I think that's pretty straightforward, right? It's like a layup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Plaintiff's response treats 784-049 as if its broadest possible phrasing governs this case, emphasizing that the statute uses the words such as any image or representation. That argument misses the threshold timing problem. The challenge publication identified in the third complaint is the Substack post and that's the post.
Okay.
The publication's January 26th, 2584 amended, but the session expressly provides this act shall take place October 1st, 2025. The amended statute did not govern in January. Very, very simple. Then I talk about something that you learn about in law school called the Erie Doctrine. Erie Railroad versus Tompkins. Okay.
Mhm.
And what that means is that a federal court, when it says federal court sitting in diversity, what does that mean? Well, if you're a federal court, you can take two types of cases, really. You can take a case because there are people in two different states and it's over $75,000. That's what's called diversity jurisdiction, and that's what we got right here. Jerem is from Ohio, and Luthmann is from Florida, and so he's claiming over $75,000. We're sitting in diversity. But if there was a federal jurisdiction over a federal question, that's a different type of jurisdiction. A federal question is the subject matter is federal, and there's three subject matters that are federal: admiralty, bankruptcy, and copyright. Those three are federal jurisdiction, federal questions, as well as anything under or that arises under the laws of the United States, meaning the Constitution, like a 1983 claim as a civil rights violation. Those are all federal issues that you would bring in federal court because it's a federal question. This doesn't involve a federal question. This involves a state law question. The state law question is the state law, 784-49. So that means that the Florida substantive law applies. That's what the Erie Doctrine says. You're sitting in diversity, you apply the state law as if you were in state court. So but it's a federal judge applying state law. Okay? Then Florida law is what governs now, right? So this is about a statutory situation. Florida presumes statutes operate prospectively unless the legislature clearly expresses an intent to apply them retroactively. And even then, courts consider whether retroactive application would impair vested rights, create new obligations, impose new penalties, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of, all that means is that the legislature said what the effective date was. We just read that. It was October 1st, 2025, right there, see?
Yeah.
So the publication, January 26th. Jerem, too bad, so sad. You missed the boat. No good. No retroactivity language, forward-looking effective date.
The fails. Fails again.
Yeah, he's so stupid. Very, very stupid. Okay, then the 2024 statute required a private image expectation of complaint does not plausibly plead. This is the statute that we talked about just before we read this. This is from there. The statute defines sexually cyber harass, right? He's claiming that I sexually cyber harassed him, right? And this is what he said that I did, right? Sexually explicit image of a person that contains or conveys the personal identification information of the depicted person without the depicted person's consent, contrary to the depicted person's reasonable expectation that the image would remain private for no legitimate purpose.
It's not a real image.
That's right. It's not a private image. The privacy expectation is not surplusage, meaning it's not there for no reason, right? The whole thing about privacy, not there for no reason. It's like this is the revenge porn situation. Two people are together, right? And then they take pictures of themselves, they take videos of themselves, they break up, and then one of them's pissed off and they post it to the internet to embarrass the other person. That's what the legislative intent was made for under the statute.
Yeah.
So that's what Jeremy Hales is saying that he has in that video. It was a private, intimate relationship that he had pictures of it that I somehow acquired. Or maybe I was party to it. Maybe that's what was going on. We'll find out that in a little bit, a couple of minutes.
Right.
The legislature's findings confirm the statutory target. Intimate images taken with consent, shared in a private relationship or private setting, and later published without consent despite a reasonable expectation of privacy. What's that? That's what I just said. Sexting, right? People sext nowadays. That's what they do. They do sexting. They take intimate pictures for people, and that's if you are no longer in the relationship, you would send something that was supposed to be private when it was sent, right? And then you release it onto the internet. That's no good.
Right.
That's no good. See, private nudity, private sexually explicit conduct, classic revenge porn paradigm. This is about revenge porn. This was done for revenge porn. Now, what does Germ allege? The third amended complaint alleges something else. It alleges that the defendant published a video depicting plaintiff as Adolf Hitler by adding a Hitler mustache to plaintiff's photograph and engaging in oral sex with a journalist. So the way he wrote that is that plaintiff has a Hitler mustache and the plaintiff is engaging in oral sex with a journalist. So Jeremy's having oral sex with a journalist. We know right now that Piglet,
in that video, it doesn't depict
the question
that at
is,
all.
he doesn't say whether he's giving oral sex or taking oral sex.
Right.
And we know that Piglet isn't a journalist. So my whole theory now is that it's Don Lemon. That Germ was giving oral sex to Don Lemon. He had a Hitler mustache on and engaged in oral sex with a journalist. He engaged in oral sex with Don Lemon. So Germ engaged in oral sex with Don Lemon because we know that Piglet isn't a journalist.
Right.
It alleges a fabricated, manipulated, satirical montage built from plaintiff's photograph, not the disclosure of an actual private, intimate image that plaintiff created, shared, possessed, or reasonably expected would remain private. That is fatal under Rule 12b-6. And that's the rule that says if you don't have a claim, it's got to go. You got to kick it out. Courts must accept well-pleaded facts, not legal conclusions. Right? And so this is the pleading standard in federal court. We talked about this before with your the motions dismissed, Lisa and Robbie. Ashcroft v. Iqbal and Bell Atlantic versus Twombly. So they call it, Twiqbal. That's what they kind of call it in shorthand. Twombly and Iqbal, those two cases, the most important cases. And what does it say? Right here. A complaint must plead facts making each statutory element plausible. Right? They have to have you have to say the facts of what the claim is. Every element up here that we talked about, he has to say facts that make this true. Right. So you don't get into the ballgame. You don't get into discovery. Yeah. All right? Plaintiff's conclusion that there was no legitimate purpose and that the image was sexually explicit does not plead the missing element, that the alleged image was an actual private, intimate image contrary to plaintiff's reasonable expectation that the image would remain private. He had to say that. He has to say that the image was an actual private image, right? The image was somehow appropriated or released by the defendant, me, Luthmann, and that he had a reasonable expectation that released image was going to remain private. He doesn't say that. He does not say that at all. And so that's a problem that he's got. The next part, the plaintiff's manipulated image theory collides with the text and creates First Amendment avoidance problems. Right? So there's something called the First Amendment. Everybody knows the First Amendment, right? Yeah. So
wait a minute. Stop right there. Everybody knows the First Amendment only applies to Jeremy.
Okay.
Or Megan or Doug.
Yeah, none of us.
No, I know. So yeah, he wants the First Amendment to be used as a sword when he wants it and a shield. So that's his problem. But we talked about the most important First Amendment case.
I hope you're okay.
Hustler Magazine versus Falwell, right? And in that, in Hustler Magazine, Larry Flynn had a whole thing, and there was a Campari ads, actually. Campari, the liqueur. All the old kids and loons drink it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's Campari ad, and it was about my first time. And they had all these people talking about their first time, their first sexual experience.
Right.
And he made a satirical Campari ad talking about Jerry Falwell, who's a reverend, and said that his first time was drunk in an outhouse with his mother. And he goes through this whole thing about how that's what he was doing and this, that, and the other thing. And it got all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. And the Supreme Court of the United States said, I'm sorry, Jerry Falwell, as terrible as this, might make you feel, as emotional and distressing as it is, it's parody. And it's grotesque parody, but it's still protected by the First Amendment, right? And that was an outrageous sexual parody, right? And he even said it very explicitly. Larry Flint said Jerry Falwell was in an outhouse with his mother at his first time that he ever had sex, and he was drunk in an outhouse with his mother. Take that and put that next to the video at issue here. There's no explicit sexual imagery. There's not one frame in that video that's sexual. There's no statement of direct sex in that video of any type, any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
So in many ways, what the Supreme Court has ruled is inbounds, satire, grotesque parody, right, is even more egregious in Hustler magazine versus Falwell than it is in this case.
And guys,
Right.
just if you remember, if you saw the movie, what was it, the Larry Flint? What was the actual title?
Flint.
Yep. That would tell you a lot about what the case that he's talking about with Hustler magazine. But go ahead, sorry. I was wondering.
If you want, I'll pull the video if you want. If you want that scene, I can pull it. But that's what happened. That's the Ed Norton when he argues it in the Supreme Court of the United States.
Mhm.
And actually, he said, look, there was a political cartoon in the 1790s, and had George Washington, and he had his donkey, and they say an ass leads an ass to Washington, and that was a political cartoon that they published back in the day, and that's covered, and that's part of the political satire.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing. The court found it's the same category.
Lord, I swear.
It's not an issue of taste. That's the whole thing about the First Amendment. How you feel about something viscerally is not law. It's taste. The
Right.
law, it's either in or it's out. And what I published, and it's clear that I published it, January 2025, is as no matter how you feel tastefully about it or not, it's inside the bounds of what's First Amendment protected. It's
Right.
not even as bad as the Jerry Falwell, drunken mother in an outhouse first time sexual encounter that was explicit sexual, references.
Right.
There's nothing explicitly sexual in the entire video. And in a minute, we're going to show why. So, Hustler magazine fully rejected liability for outrageous sexual parody, absent constitutionally actionable false statements of fact. There has to be something false, a false statement of fact there. What was
Right.
that video with Jeremy Hales? There's no statements of fact in that video. It's a pure parody. It's not even
Right.
his words. They're the words of Andrew Tate.
Right.
So, also, it's rhetorical hyperbole that no reasonable reader would take literally. No one could take that literally. I took his head very crassly, as he even said so, and Megan's head very crassly, almost like South Park type, editing. But put it
Right.
on top of there and did it there for a clearly satirical purpose, right? It
Right.
can't be reasonably understood as stating provably false facts. Show me a fact in there that I proved. So show me something that's not satire or opinion or hyperbole or anything. There's not there. So there's something in the
I'll
law.
be right back.
This
Okay.
paragraph is the important part right here, and that's the First Amendment issue is sexy and it's something that's important. But courts have a usual rule, and the court usually will not touch a constitutional issue if there's a narrower way to decide the case. And here, the narrow statutory point resolves the case, and that's what the court should really do. And that's why this reply is put in. The statute, the 2024 version of the statute, does not plausibly reach a fabricated satirical montage built from public imagery because the complaint does not allege publication of an actual private image that the plaintiff reasonably expected would remain private. The pictures of Jeremy and Megan were taken off the internet. There's no reasonable expectation in privacy in stuff that's on Google. There's
Right.
if it's on YouTube, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy in that.
Which they put out themselves, right?
And they put it out themselves. It's part of their marketing. Courts
Right.
avoid interpretation.
They're not private images at all.
They're not private at all. And so the court's going to say, look, this is it. No good. We're going to go with the statutory interpretation and not go after the constitutional one.
Right.
And then I say this is what's going to be the killer of the case. Because, I don't want to give him another leave to amend. Remember he gave the leave to amend in your case and he blew it?
Yeah.
Plaintiff has already amended repeatedly. The legal defect is not merely grammatical. The pleaded publication occurred in January 2024 before 2584 took effect. 2024 statute required a privacy expectation for the image. Plaintiff's theory is that defendant fabricated satirical or defamatory visual depiction using plaintiff's photograph. No amendment can convert a public source satirical montage into an actual private intimate image that plaintiff reasonably expected would remain private. Count 2, therefore, should be dismissed with prejudice. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm asking for. It's a very, very simple thing. Dismiss
Right.
count 2 with prejudice, quash the purported service. I think they're going to argue that stuff is moot. They're not going to get into the service stuff because they're going to dismiss count 2. And then if I stay on the case, I'll probably win what's called the severance motion. I want them to sever me from Michelle because the cases have nothing to do with each other at this point.
Right.
When there was a big ecosystem case, a grand conspiracy, well, there was something linking everybody. Now there's nothing that links everybody. Also, I asked the court to send email notices to me so we don't kill all the trees. So I don't want, Judge Hinkle to kill trees and Judge Bolito to kill trees. I love the trees.
Right.
I'm a tree lover. I love the environment, so I want the trees to not die. So send me emails. And then all my rights and personal jurisdiction, subject matter arbitrations, because I still have my arbitration clause. I still could probably fight him to the death. So we'll see.
Right.
And then any other relief, fees and costs, anything else. I asked all this stuff. And I put all this stuff in, and I sent it to the courthouse. And then here's what I sent shocking. All right, I sent this to him on the 29th, and this was sent to him. And then I mailed it. I went down to the store and mailed it, like 4:15 or 4:30. And then I got back, and there was an email from him like at 5 o'clock. So, Attorney Shockett, right to meet, confer under the North District, Florida Local Rule 7.1 before filing a motion for leave to submit a limited reply to plaintiff's response to my motion to dismiss count 2 in the above referenced matter. That's this case, the Hales versus Preston case. That's Fed 2. The specific issue is narrow: whether the court should analyze count 2 under the 2024 version of the statute, because the challenged Substack publication identified in the third amendment complaint is dated January 26, 2025, while 2584 of the laws of Florida did not take effect until October 1st of 2025, 10 months later. My position, and palpably your client's position, given the four corners of the third amendment complaint, is that the 2024 statute controls. That version will require plaintiffs to plead publication of a sexually explicit image contrary to the depicted person's reasonable expectation that the image would remain private. The third amendment complaint alleges a fabricated or manipulated satirical montage video built from plaintiff's photograph, not the dissemination of an actual private intimate image the plaintiff ever expected would remain private. To avoid unnecessary motion practice, please advise whether the plaintiff will stipulate to the 2024 version of the statutes governing count 2 for the purposes of the 12b6 motion. I have attached a proposed short stipulation. So I did the work for him. I gave him a stipulation to sign if he wanted to sign it. I said, please respond as soon as possible. We don't waste the court's valuable time and resources on following up with a call to your offices, which I did. I called those offices. I got his answering service, and then I told him, look, let me know so we don't have to waste the judge's time. If this is going to end up going to Hinkle or Bolito or one of them, then I have to deal with this stuff. And it is what it is. Stipulate or he'll back. I'll advise the court I attempted to confer, proceed with a motion for leave to file a reply. So I sent it in. And so it's in. Then it's stipulation. And then the last piece here is the stipulation I sent him. This is what's called the stipulation. That's when you make an agreement, right?
Yeah.
Applicable version of Florida Statute 7449. Plaintiff Jeremy Hales by under counsel, defendant Richard Luthmann, stipulate as follows. Count 2 of the third amendment complaint asserts a claim against Richard Luthmann, the Florida sexual cyber-harassment statute. Publication identified in the complaint as the basis is alleged to have occurred in January 2025. Chapter 2584 of the amended statute, and it took effect on October 1st, 2025.
Right.
Parties agree for the purpose of the pending motion. The court should apply the version of the statute in force at the time of the alleged January 2025 publication, not the later amendments effective October 1st. This stipulation is limited to the applicable statutory version and does not waive any party's arguments regarding whether count 2 states a claim, whether the statute applies to alleged publication, whether the alleged publication is protected by the First Amendment, whether the service is proper, whether jurisdiction exists, whether severance is appropriate, or any other claim, defense, objection, or remedy. Very, very simple. We just said, look, we just want this law to apply. He won't say anything. I asked Shaka to sign, and I had myself sign, and I asked that we could put this in and avoid having it bother the judge, and Shaka didn't want to do it. So I put this in and let the judge see, this guy is wasting everybody's time. It's just a waste. The guy is a waste of time. So that is this.
He just wants to pay for all these cases. That's what he does.
Well, that's what he does. But at this point, he's wasted everybody's time. It's clear to the judge now that he wasted everybody's time.
Yep.
So that's what we got. So you got any questions on that?
Actually, I do have one. Michelle, because you had mentioned separating from the case. Michelle had said that.
I was going to ask that, Richard, how should I put in a motion at some point asking to be separated from you and me? So in this case, I put in the motion the severance or the Rule 20 stuff. Just copy and paste the stuff I put in. And just put in a motion yourself. That's all you got to do. Rule 20. That's all it is. Rule 20, Rule 21. That's severance. What it has to be is that there's no issue of common issues of law and fact. So you need to have common issues of law, common issues of fact. Me and Michelle don't have common issues of law. We're being sued under two different legal theories, two different statutes, right? And there's no combinations of fact because there's no grand, conspiracy anymore. Michelle he's not alleging that Michelle had anything to do with my publication of the video in January 2025, right. Nor is he claiming that I had anything to do with anything Michelle did.
Right.
So of course it should be severed.
Right. And even in her case, her defense is so easily stated because he's going after her for what is it?
Motion. What is it?
Oh my God! It starts with an M.
Malicious prosecution.
Yeah, and the thing is and he brings up the case that she dismissed, right? And she dismissed it voluntarily because she knew she was going to bring it up in the Fed 1 case, right? Well, the Fed 1 case is at a stay. So that's malicious prosecution. I mean, it's been clear as day that was going to happen. She was going to ask for whatever she was going to get in that case in Fed 1, and it's just nothing's happening. So how can he try and turn it around into malicious prosecution against her for that one case that she voluntarily dismissed?
No, it's crazy. But you know what it is? It's the fact is the severance issue makes it easier because then they got to deal with a lot more every time, and right. So it's going to raise if it's a frivolous case, which most of Jeremy's cases are, they're vexatious and frivolous. He's still going to have to pay Randy Shotgun for it. The only loser in this whole thing is Jeremy. Shotgun's making money hand over fist in this case, and all these cases.
Yeah, he said tonight he's at $539,000 in legal fees, and I'm like, that's on you, dude. No one told you to do any of this. No one told you to start any of this crap.
He's an
idiot.
It'd
be different if he had any kind of, case that had merit. And he doesn't.
Look, if this thing goes to discovery, he's going to get up to $1 million in legal fees. Easy. I'm going to make Randy Shotgun's fucking year this year. He will make $500,000 in legal fees by the time I'm done with this. That's the thing, and I don't think that they're gonna. I think Randy Shotgun is secretly wanting this thing to go to discovery, because right. You got to look at two things. One, I know what I'm doing in discovery, how to make their life miserable. Okay, number one, that's what I'm doing. Number two, discovery is going to be a. You think that the pleadings and everything else is a bonanza? It's going to be a content creation bonanza. You have no idea. It's going to be so beautiful. And then number three, let's say that I lose. Get in line. He can get a $10 million judgment against me. He's never going to collect. Get in line. I have how many other people in front of me?
Right.
The biggest one being the federal government. So what's he going to do? Yeah. And on that point, I actually got included in a very important article a few days ago about lawfare. And I'm actually, I'll announce it here. I've been writing a book about lawfare, my experience with lawfare. It's probably gonna be coming out in a couple of months. So I'm putting the works on it now. So everything's getting up to the big guy. I've got a pardon application now. This new fund. We got to see what legally is going to happen with this new Trump fund for weaponization of justice. But by and large, if the fund carries, then I'm going to have a nice little payday coming. That's what I'm going to be asking for it anyway. So, but I'm working on my book about weaponization of justice and my own experience. So this is not, so Germ's got to get in line at this point. So he's got nothing that he's going to get, and hopefully the judge sees that. The judge sees, look, he's creating a situation against Michelle that's not somebody that you expect to be in federal court, and not one of these wealthy people or a big corporation or anything else. And bringing a case against me, I'm more dangerous than anything else because I can create a lot of problems for a lot of people in federal court. It's just, every little fucking thing. If I wanted to litigate for every little fucking thing, scorched earth, and at the end of the day, what do they do? Sanction me? What do they throw me in jail? I don't fear jail. I've been to jail. It's a joke. Get the hell out of here. And really they can't do that because I didn't do anything wrong criminally. But are you going to order a contempt order? Well, contempt order cannot be punitive, right? They can throw you in jail for a few days, for a few weeks, even for a few months. But if they do that, then it becomes a situation where I'm a journalist, and I would go for the record at that point. It would make national news if they wanted to throw me in jail for something, which would be a lot of fun actually. Then I'd have more press. I'd be writing stuff from jail. I'd write letters from jail. It'd be great. So we'll see. We'll see if they want what they want to do. If they want to make me a martyr, they want to raise my level, that type of thing. They want to give me free PR. I would love that. I wouldn't mind that at all. That's where we are with that.
All right, so now in regards to the original video.
Yeah, show the original video. Put on your little screen that says fair use.
This is fair use, guys, because we're discussing what their claim is, their allegations are against Rich in the Fed 2 case. So I don't have the video actually. You want me to throw?
You want the video? I'll put the video. I'll put the video up if you want.
Is the next one an actual video?
I can upload the video actually. Let me upload it for you.
The entire video?
Yeah, I'll give it to you right now. Hold on.
Okay. That has this end part.
Yeah, I have it right here. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
Here's the whole thing. I'm putting it in.
Okay, guys, so this is the actual entire video. And you guys only saw, or if you saw it, you only saw a portion of this video. But here's the entire video. And again, this is fair use. Here we go.
I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them to me so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do. When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there. I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I've made my $1 million with a webcam business. I have met beautiful women with good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch. I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money. Won't you take me to...
What do you have in your mouth? What is that?
So that is the video that everyone is saying is revenge porn. All right? You see anything in there that was pornographic? Any one frame in that video that is pornography?
No.
I don't see it either. Is there any reasonable expectation of privacy in any frame, any picture in Jeremy? That those faces that he makes are all public figure faces. They're all out in the public, right? Megan as well. I don't. And then the voice isn't even Jeremy's voice. It's Andrew Tate's voice.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know how what they're saying. This is like, it's a little bit embarrassing to Jeremy and to Randy Shockett that they even brought this case and they even brought this statute. It's very, very embarrassing. These people should be very, very embarrassed about how stupid they are. They're very, very stupid people. You know, that's just it. You try to be tough and you're stupid, it doesn't work out for you. Tough and stupid is one of the worst combinations.
This video is satire and parody. I mean, that's exactly what it is. But the rest of the video, okay, but there's another part of the video that nobody saw.
Well, I'm going to let everybody know what the rest happened with the video. That if we pull the frame out on the video, and this will all come into evidence if we have to go to discovery, we're going to pull the frame out on the video and we'll see what was happening at the end of that when Megan, when her head, went from high in the frame to low in the frame. Lisa, why don't you show everybody what happened in the video? So this is breaking news on Two Lees in a Pod on Lisa Lee. This is a pull-out frame from the video. So that's what was actually happening. In the lower frame, the lower portion of the frame, you could see what was on the floor of the car, right? On the floor of the car, there were two things. There was the Federal Prison Monthly with paint chips rocking the conjugals, and it was a full-length publication that it featured me rocking the conjugal visits. And maybe some stuff in there might have been pornographic. Some of the shit that I did was pretty nasty. And it's inside that magazine. I won't, deny that I've done some nasty conjugal shit. But that being said, the other part of it is what Jeremy has in his hands. Those are the breadsticks. And so what we know about Megan and her breadsticks, right?
Yeah.
And so what Jeremy had in his hands, his faces he was making, he couldn't believe how this woman mercilessly ate the breadsticks. She was eating breadsticks the whole time. And so they filed a lawsuit basically because Megan was eating breadsticks and Jeremy was, crazy about how quickly and voraciously she was eating these breadsticks. Yeah, she was gargling. She was deep-throating the breadsticks. It was all the way down. Like she was working on her gag reflex with the breadsticks. It was going right down her throat. It was out of control. She was gargling the garlic sauce, I guess, right? So
it's all about the breadsticks with her. So
that's what this whole thing was about, the breadsticks. So we pulled the frame out for everybody and let them see this. So if this goes to Discovery, this is what's going to happen in Discovery. We're going to ask them all about the breadsticks. Well, we may have to get a full version of Federal Prison Monthly, and we're going to have Paint Chips pictures. There'll be a whole Paint Chips gallery of all the stuff that Paint Chips does in that. And it's some sick things that rock the conjugals. You don't get on the cover of Federal Prison Monthly without being a sick bastard. Yes, Robbie. Robbie was on the cover of Federal Prison Monthly as well. And he's a sick man rocking the conjugals as well. So you need to be a sick person to be on the cover of that magazine. That might be what they're talking about. That might be the materials that they're worried about. You can't see any of that material in this frame. It was never part of that video. But, Megan was having problems with the breadsticks. And you know what? I don't call her Megan anymore. I call her Piglet. That is her new name. When I sue her, if this doesn't get dismissed, I'm going to actually sue Megan Fox, also known as Megan Fox Ryder, also known as Piglet. That's going to be her name in the lawsuit. I'm going to call her Piglet because that's what her name is. She's been referred to in the media as Piglet. Megan Piglet Ryder. That's what she is. Megan Piglet Fox Ryder. Okay. Fox Piglet. I don't know what animal she is. Is she a fox? Is she a pig? She's a pig fox? I don't know. But that's what she's a piglet. Not fox.
But
she's a piglet. Piglet.
So the point in showing all this, guys, is literally. Oh, we got Robbie back. Hold on one sec.
Back.
Scooter.
So Robbie, I have to ask you.
What? Shoot.
I made the cover of Federal Prison Monthly, and that magazine was on the floor of Jeremy Hales' car when Megan was in there for the infamous video, while she was gargling the breadsticks. She was deep-throating the breadsticks. Did you ever make the cover of Federal Prison Monthly for rocking the conjugals? I heard that you did.
I can't answer that.
Can I either confirm or deny?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Anyway, guys, so the point is showing you that there were breadsticks. That's what it was. That's the end result to that video. And there was nothing actual pornographic or revenge porn about it. Okay, the whole thing was satire and parody. And you know what? To be honest with you, if you even read some of the emails from Megan to Richard to all these other people, you have to hear the mouth on this woman. I mean, she's nasty. She's nasty and bitchy. And I mean, I'm not going to go through some of them, but I mean, it's really, really, really bad. And what Megan and Tug signed breadstick bag to sell on whatnot. What are they going to sell? Are you serious?
Hair.
Oh
Hair?
my God.
Maybe Megan can open up a pizza place called Little Piglets and sell breadsticks. Maybe she can do that.
Right?
Little Piglet. Little Piglet. Piglet.
Little piglet.
That's what she'll do. Little
Little
Piglet.
pigs in a blanket.
But
Little
so
pigs in a
that's what
blanket.
you guys
That's right.
understand
Little Piglets in a blanket. Little
what it's
Piglet.
really about and how
Oh,
this.
Show the other
And
one.
they don't-
Show the other one. Show the other one, Lisa. The full frame version of what happened in the car that night. There we go. This is the actual. When we go to Discovery, this is what actually happened in the car that night. Because you can see I was there in the form of my magazine, right? So I can see through my magazine. That's what I'm going to tell the court. I have those powers. And what happened in the car, based on what Jeremy said in his pleadings, is that he had sex with a journalist. So I guess after Megan ate her breadsticks, Jeremy had sex with Don Lemon. Don Lemon looks like he's all ready to have sex with Jeremy at that point. But there are also some other people that were in the car. And I'm probably going to have to question every one of those people that was in the car with Jeremy and Megan as to what happened that night. So I'm going to have to bring them in as co-conspirators under something that's called, and Robbie, have you ever heard of something, Robbie, called the Langham Act?
Called what?
The Langham Act. I think that the Lanham Act it applies to all those people that were in the car that night.
Oh my God! Okay, so this isn't even a joke anymore. Listen to what Richard's saying. Okay.
Right.
So the case right now is Jeremy versus. It's not even Elephant Shoe anymore, right? It's Jeremy versus Richard and Michelle right now. But right now this is the part about Richard, and it's all about this revenge porn thing, right? Now, this revenge porn actually involves Jeremy and Megan, right? Their faces were the original, in this original video, right? Nobody saw the end of it, which we just saw. But now, so Richard, what can you do in bringing up the Lanham Act?
Well, what they did was they created an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And their ecosystem was to perpetrate the falsehood that there was some type of video that Jeremy had said in his pleadings. He's made this in actually, I think, 2 or 3 versions of his pleadings about the revenge porn, saying that there was an actual video of him and Megan that I had stolen and that I had put out there, and I violated the law doing it. Well, in so doing, he's accused me of a crime.
Right.
And in so accusing me of a crime falsely, all of them are related in a very serious conspiracy to tag me as a criminal. And so that becomes something that, it smacks of RICO. It's a conspiracy, actually. So I'm going to get them all under that, and I'm going to get them also under the Lanham Act. Remember the Lanham Act, Robbie? How they're trying to conspire to do things to affect my trade and whatnot. Well, that criminal, threshold is pretty easy to get over now, because they have to show the video that they did was a revenge porn video that I had acquired. And they're claiming that I in some way acquired it and criminally, broadcasted. So, in accusing me of a crime, they have opened up Pandora's box, and I think that Shockett very well has opened himself up too. I hope his malpractice is paid up, because he's had numerous occasions to vet the facts here, and how he pled this to this point is pleaded. In that I've committed a crime. He's falsely stated I committed a crime. So he didn't review on behalf of the allegations that his client had. They can't, as a matter of fact or law, make any sense. What he put in the court actually hurt me. And so, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. This is what's called abusive process. This is what's called malicious prosecution. This is what's called big problems they have. That is defamation. Even we take away the litigation privilege and everything else, but there's also a conspiracy. And what they do is they further propagate these lies. And they're an ecosystem where they coordinate. We know that Megan coordinates through. Piglet gets fed breadsticks to say things that Jeremy wants. So if Megan wants to eat breadsticks, then she has to say what Jeremy wants. Same thing happens with Tug. And same thing happens with everyone in that ecosystem. We're gonna trace it around. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We got our road.
So does this mean you get to add all of them, or just?
Oh yeah, if we go, I'm gonna add every one of them. I'm gonna do what they did. I'm gonna and we have precedent in the Northern District of Florida in a case called Hales versus Preston, Fed 2, that you can harass somebody for a year and a half on a Lanham Act claim that's baseless, and you can harass them and everything else, and there's nothing that happens to you. So
Right.
at this point, might as well, right? I can go for a year and a half. I'm trying to get it to 2 years, 3 years. How many years I can harass?
Well, the only person I believe in Fed 2 that the Lanham Act went, they just went after me for the Lanham Act, right? There was nobody else.
Well, they said there was a big
conspiracy. Yeah.
There was a big conspiracy. So I'm gonna talk about how they what they did was they all conspired. It's a huge conspiracy. I'm going to talk about the conspiracy. I'm going to talk about the media conspiracy. The central phrase of the media conspiracy is a term I don't know if you've heard of, but it's called polymop. Have you heard of the term polymop? That is called contraction of litigation and multiplication of proceedings. And that word polymop sums up what they do. They've created the false claim and the criminal claim that I violated criminal statutes. And that's a per se defamation that they've done. And then what they've done is they've perpetrated the publication of it, and they've perpetrated the slander of my good name. They've done that. So there's going to be defamation. There's also going to be, they've done it, they've abused process by doing it. They've done all sorts of other things that are speech and non-speech, because their campaign is a speech campaign related to the defamation, slander, and libel issues. But it's also a non-speech campaign because of the actions. They've engaged in conduct that is non-speech conduct, and that non-speech conduct is something that we can basically bring as actionable as well.
Right. Wow.
So I'm hoping that, and I really hope I lose this motion. I want to lose, so I get into discovery, so I can file an answer and a counterclaim and bring in all the Piglet and friends. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll tell you, Megan, kind of in a little bit of a doozy. If you do that, that's crazy, because she's already received, but as of today, Leslie has filed the admissions, or some of them anyway, for Megan, that she needs to answer that. Okay. She's facing a filing from me on a case for the infringement, right? So, and if you do that, who's going to pay for her lawyer fees?
That's right.
Is she going to try and use Shaka for all this? Well, that would be really, really foolish of her. But so I think that she, as smart as she thinks she is, and as big mouth as she is, I mean, this journalist really should go back to her ethics book of journalism and find out what being a journalist is really about.
But she's not a journalist anymore. She's a content creator, and that's the point. That's the point, is that, he said that in the video that was part of the the third amended complaint, he said that he was depicting of him having sex with a journalist. Piglet isn't a journalist.
Right.
So that's the big question here that we leave with today. Who is the journalist that Jeremy Hales allegedly had sex with? Because he's claiming that he had an actual video, that he had a reasonable expectation of privacy, or else he wouldn't have been able to use the statute. So was it Don Lemon? Did Jeremy Hales have sex with Don Lemon, number one? And number two, was he on top or on the bottom? That's the questions that I want to ask when we get to discovery. Those are going to be my questions.
Yeah. I find it funny because all last week was all about me. Like she's definitely unhinged over me now. I mean, she put 3 videos up of me the other day, which obviously is all privacy issues, right? So She did that. She's definitely harassing me and or trying to. And I'm bringing up like valid points. Like, so if you're cyber harassing me, you have a company that supposedly she calls it a sponsor. All of a sudden now she's not talking about her sponsor anymore. She tried to bring up like these 2 points. One, they gave her a landing page. Two, they gave her, a giveaway thing. It's like, you're not the only one. This isn't your specific thing because they're sponsoring you. You signed up for an affiliate program. That's it. And all of a sudden now she's shut up. And now she's mad for some reason. I don't know why. She goes and posts 3 videos. She's posting my name. She's posting my husband. She's mocking me. She's showing the inside of my home. And they think it's public because you can see see me from the street. No, you can't. No, you absolutely cannot. And that's proven in the body cam footage. And she's just going on and on and on and constantly doing this. So it's like, you know what? We're just done. Everybody that has been around and telling the bad behavior of this jerk who's literally been harassing a family. We've tried helping the family. We have done, lots of things, that we could. And because we did, we got attacked. We got attacked. We got harassed. Every one of us. You, Rich, Robbie, me, Leslie, Ray, Dave.
And other people too. All our family members. My father got harassed. Robbie's wife got harassed. His daughter got harassed. Gabe gets harassed. Everybody gets harassed.
Your mom's now being brought into this crowd.
Sick people. They're sick people. Yeah. They really are. They're very, very sick people.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be done to them.
It's a pattern. And it's all on Hales' narrative and going against anybody who dislikes what he's done. He got away with it for 2 years doing this to this family. It's about time people stood up. If you don't say nothing, they're all going to keep getting away with it. So, and I'm not about to let that happen. Not with me. I'm not about to let it happen. So I'm not, Leslie's not, Rich obviously isn't, and the rest of us, we're all here, we're all still here standing behind what we believe, which is that this is all wrong, and people shouldn't be treated like that. And that's what this is all about. I'm here debunking on a daily basis these, at least right now, 5 people who have been harassing me constantly. And there's more. There's these little channels, and it's intense. It's insane. It's every day, all day. More stuff keeps popping up. If it's not this channel, it's the other channel, So, it's about time it ends. It ends. And, this is how you stop them from doing it to anybody else. You stop them from doing it to you in the future. You stop them from doing it to anybody else in the future. Because if they even try, all this stuff will be right there facing them. And, they're not going to be able to get away with it for long. So,
Oh, and they asked, right, did I get the video when Jeremy was in the limo with P. Diddy and Epstein? I have even better than that. For my counterclaim, I did the alligator Alcatraz. I only released the very beginning of that. I actually have interviews with alligators that talked about how Jeremy had freakouts like P. Diddy with the baby oil, and he was lathering up the alligators, and he was actually he gave a couple alligators roofies. I have actually alligators giving statements. People don't realize that if you've seen Harry Potter, there's a very, very special skill called parcel tongue. That's when you can talk with snakes and reptiles. I have that skill. I have the skill to have parcel tongue. Right, the only people that could speak parcel tongue are Harry Potter, right? It's Salazar Slytherin, Lord Voldemort. There's only very few, and Rich Luthmann. There's only like 4 people that can do parcel tongue. I think Robbie could speak a little bit of it, but there are only so many people in the world that can talk to reptiles, and I'm one of them. And I actually took the statements as a journalist of all the reptiles, the alligators and the iguanas and the lizards. And all the crocodiles that Jeremy Hales has done what he did to. And we may be bringing as next friend to all the animals in order to hold Jeremy Hales accountable for his bestiality. I think that's what we're going to try to do. We went to Alligator Alcatraz and took statements. We may have to take more statements. We may have to go up to Ohio and see what alligators and crocodiles. They don't go that far north. There might be lizards, though, up there. He might have a little lizard farm hidden away, like they had in Ohio, where they had the girls that were in the basement for all those years, and they were locked up. Chained to the radiator. he could have lizards chained to a radiator someplace in a
This is
basement in
all
Ohio.
set. This is all comedy.
This is something that we might have to investigate. We don't know what we can do with Jeremy Hales at this point because
I
of
bet
his
he's got a
alligator.
unicorn in there too.
The what? What's he looking for?
I'll bet he's got a unicorn in there too.
Could be a unicorn.
It's
This
just
is a sick
crazy
man.
stuff that he comes up
He's a
with.
sick man.
You know, when it's like, what kind of reality are you actually living in to make up all this stuff? And that's where your satire comes from, because of all the stupid stuff that he just claims that everybody's involved with. I mean, now I'm a swinger. That's another thing. I'm a swinger. What else? Oh, because of loofahs, I'm a swinger. Meanwhile, everybody in the villages knows that all the loofah stuff's like a joke. But what else? Oh, he said I was a drug addict, a drinker. No, that was Megan. But tonight he said I was probably taking oxys. You missed out, Robbie. Now I'm taking oxys. This is like crazy stuff, and it wasn't my eyes that were all like wet and watered down and whatever.
Let me guess. He interviewed the doctor that wrote your script.
I guess I tried to, because oh my God, they tried to. That's just part of the fifth time he mentioned John in his surgery. That I don't know any doctor or any pain management place that does surgeries and puts it out this long of a date. I mean, he was just going on and on. I'm thinking, oh, you got to be kidding me. They were talking on, I think it was Coop's channel, about trying to find out who John's doctor was. And I'm like, you think if you do that, you're going to find out any information? Like, these people are like crazy. Like, don't you have anything better to do with your day?
They're out of control. They just did the Volpe too. We did a piece this week with Volpe. I'm gonna probably put out some more on tomorrow. He did an article on it about how they went and they didn't read his articles that he wrote about this woman who got put in jail, and they blamed him for getting her put in jail. And he's the one writing about the fact that she's being put in jail. They're just like very, very stupid people. And then Megan's command. Go ahead.
My neighbor across the street, right? There's a domestic violence issue that's gone on, right? And I'm friends with the victim, okay? And I have been friends. And Megan and Tug are literally telling everybody, and even Shara put out a video claiming that an innocent man in the villages was arrested. I'm like, it's out of her mind. There is a video proof. There's images of the marks on this woman's neck. Her lip is. Are you kidding me? No, you guys haven't seen any of that because you're trying as much as you can to come after me, ignoring the domestic violence issue, okay, and trying to say that I'm the reason why he's in jail. Meanwhile, he battered this woman twice and her mother once. He was on probation and violated that by contacting her. And then when he got arrested the last time for the domestic violence and battering her, he's contacted her again, and he was released on a conditional release to not contact her. He contacted her again, and he just spent a little over a month in jail, and now he's out on an ankle bracelet, and he can't even live at his father's house. Okay, he had to move because he's not allowed to be that close to her. Okay, but yet this is my fault. Somehow I did this. That's what Megan and Tug are doing. Because I'm the one that helped her and helped her stand up for herself. Okay? Because I was being a friend to her. And I was the one helping explain the situation because I'm the one with the cameras. I'm the one that's showing some of the stuff that he's done in the street here. So they're coming after me. And meanwhile, I'm simply a witness. And that's what all the body cam footage is all about. To attack me. So they're defaming, they're lying on a constant, they're making this crazy shit up. All of a sudden now my husband has a sugar daddy because some meth head across the street is claiming so when he's barely able to speak, foaming at the mouth and lip smack on his gums, and trying to...
Who is Shara?
Oh,
she's a fake journalist.
Shara Michelle Wolf. She's
another one.
Yeah,
she was the one that originally flipped on Michelle.
She was working for Bruce, or working with Bruce, right? And then she flipped.
When I first came onto this and Bruce approached me, asking me if I wanted to know Michelle's side of the story. Shara had done, I think she went on MLS's channel with Bruce to talk about the case or whatever, and she was helping Bruce. And once I came on and started talking about it on the show, she lost her shit, and she kept like attacking me to Bruce, to Michelle, whatever, saying all this stuff. I mean, just kind of mad that I was telling Michelle's story. But meanwhile, Shara sat on this for like well over a year and a half or 2 years. I mean, Jeremy even did a video attacking Shara. Well, I mean, like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he went at her with a phone call with her and called her every name in the book. I mean, really, really, really attacked her. So once I started talking about Michelle's side of the story, she flipped. She ended up flipping, and then she started like handing over things to Jeremy as if like they were this, big thing against Michelle and big thing against Bruce. And, meanwhile, she shouldn't have turned over shit because she was working with Bruce. So there's a thing there. But, she was just afraid of Jeremy. She kept whining to, Bruce that, oh my God, he's going to sue me. And she was afraid that she was going to have to come down to Florida and all that. I mean, Shara's she's weird. I mean, I've sent her cease and desist already, and now she's trying to put out these videos. Megan's promoting her, just like she promotes everybody else. So it's all these co-conspirators. They're all together doing this. And it's shown. It's right there. There's a whole entire pattern. Black and white. Go look at their channels, and you'll see it all. You will not be able to go to Rich's channel and be able to say these two are in cahoots together, meaning me and Rich. You're not going to be able to go to Robbie's channel and say me and Robbie are somehow in cahoots against Hales by looking on our channels. Same with Dave, same with Ray. You can't see that. It's not open like that. My channel is totally different. I'm also being accused now of changing all my thumbnails. They think it's because I'm deleting videos or something. No, honey, the videos are there. There's a reason I upgraded my channel. Maybe it's because half you guys out there are getting demonetized. Okay, and I'm trying to make sure my channel is not against things that YouTube's looking for. And if you guys are smart, you should do the same damn thing, but they're not. Anyway, but they're making up all kinds of stories. They have this whole narrative, and if you look at their channels, my point is they have patterns, and especially Megan and Tug and Hales. It's all right there. Black and white. They can't even delete, erase, nothing. It's all recorded.
And I heard Lisa, have you heard that they use burner phones too? I heard they use burner phones to communicate. But even the stuff that's like non-burner phones.
Yeah, he has burner phones. He used the burner phones with Leslie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we can show that he used burner phones, so we can say, look, they had burner phones. But even the stuff that's like not burner phone, but like that's like the stuff that like organized crime does. He's acting like an organized criminal. These people are acting like organized criminals. They're using burner phones and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, even with the stuff that they put out there, they give themselves away. They're not very good at doing this. They're very, very stupid people. That's just it. They've given the whole footprint of what they're doing. The whole conspiracy is laid out there for everybody to see. Their modus operandi, the common scheme or plan. It's a total disgrace. They're a joke. These people are very, very stupid. But the problem is, they can be stupid, but they can still hurt people. They can hurt a lot of people, and they have. And somebody needs to put a stop to them. They need to put a stop to them legally in the courts.
And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why you're in what you're doing. Leslie right now. And these are like the three things that are like really, really going to start. Mine, I mean, I haven't even filed yet, but that's because I'm working with law enforcement as well. So, but anyway, it's all good. But we're going to hold them accountable. And the biggest one who gives himself away on a constant basis is the leader of it all.
Yeah.
He cannot keep his mouth shut. Even 3 weeks, you guys have heard he hasn't said nothing. He says little things here and there, but tonight he came out, boom. Why? Because his views are down. Okay? So he went to attack Michelle on not being at this depot, just like he's done with other people, making up stories. Guys, remember that one bankruptcy hearing that I ended up showing up at and he lost his shit? He lost it because I showed up. He did not think I was going to be there. And at that point, he realized he cannot lie about what goes on in the bankruptcy hearing because he knew I would be there to prove him wrong. Before that, he could lie to you all he wants, and he's doing it now, still with bankruptcy, because I wasn't there. He knows I won't debunk him if I'm not there. I could still debunk him because I have people who are there. I get the truth, okay? And it's in Ohio, he flipped out. He told the trustee in bankruptcy that I was actually at the Ohio hearing and involved in it, and no, I was not. He lied to the trustee in the bankruptcy court because he couldn't keep his mouth shut when he saw I was there. He's like, "Can I say something?" My name pops up. Their faces, I think it was Deanna on there. She looked shocked. Okay. He turns around after Shockett gets all frustrated with Michelle. And he turns around and goes, "Can I say something?" And so the trustee's like, "Yeah." And he turns around and he goes, "This Lisa person is probably recording this right now," and flipped out and said, "I was at the Ohio hearing and not even less than 30 days ago." And he literally lost his shit just because my name was on the screen. I never said a word. I never even said good morning, Judge, or whatever her name is. I never said a word. Nothing. And he accused me of recording the hearing, which I would never do. I'm not that stupid. Okay. He's probably the one who did something like that because he records everything secretively. Even just standing in front of you, he's wearing something. He did it to Tina, his neighbor. He's done it to several people. He's actually, before all this stuff, he used to show all his spyware and his glasses, his pen, all this stuff, But he's the one who does that. And he literally flipped out and accused me. He lied about me, accused me of things right there in bankruptcy court, literally just because my name showed up on the screen. I mean, he calls himself out on the shit that he's done all along. Tonight, I mean, he knows I'm dealing with the sheriffs, right? He goes and tries and lies about me again and harasses me tonight. I'm like, "Are you an idiot? I thought the reason you showed up was because, you're not going to deal with this anymore." But no, he needs that content. So he's going to come back, and here he comes. And this is what he's doing. He accused Lisa and I of working together in Ohio to do something to him. I've never been in Ohio. I've driven through Ohio once on my way to California, and that was way before I even knew of Hales. So I don't know.
Ohio is a godforsaken place. You have to understand that. And I'm sorry to anybody who's in Ohio, but you know who said that? Tom Brady. Tom Brady said Ohio is a godforsaken place. And you know what? Tom Brady's the GOAT. I believe the GOAT when he says Ohio is a godforsaken place. That's what
there's several people in here from Ohio, and I know that they love their Ohio. And
all right. Well, Jeremy's giving you people a bad name. Get him kicked out of Ohio. Throw him someplace else. Throw him into the ocean or something. Throw him to the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I just but I'm just saying, I've never been up there to do anything. See, yep, hey now. But no, so I'm sure there's some great places in Ohio and people in Ohio, and but I've never been there except for driving through. And yes, they don't claim germ. They've said that several times throughout this year and a half on here. But yeah, so I mean, it's just crazy. This guy calls himself out on everything he does because he cannot keep his mouth shut, and that's basically how we've got him. All the evidence, Rich. Almost all the evidence is all his videos. So I mean,
it's his own language, his own statements coming out of his own mouth. He tells on himself every day. Yeah. This guy tells on himself. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So listen. I got an ask for everybody here. I am close to 500 subscribers. When I get 500 subscribers, I get something called subscriber tools or something like that. I get creator tools on YouTube. I don't have any of them yet. I've been because I really haven't been paying attention to YouTube. But if you want to help me get to 500 and I can use some of these creator tools, that would be very, very helpful in my battle against the germ. It'll be fun. Do you have
your community page, community posts yet? You said, right?
I don't have any of that stuff. I'm at 450 or something like that. I need another 50 people to sign up. So if you want to sign up there, I'm at Luthmann News, Luthmann, Luthmann.
Put the link in there.
Hold on.
Okay, let's see. I'll put it in there. I need some help to get over the 500 because I don't have any of the creator tools yet. And if you like me also on Substack, also subscribe to my Substack. which is Luthmann.substack.com. So,
Is that right?
yeah, thank you, Marla. Marla says I have a lot of good content. I'm actually doing some cool stuff. I'm suing in Florida right now in a FOIA case to try to solve an unsolved murder from Yonkers, New York in 1997. But out of it, I'm probably going to get a bunch of information about Judge Jeanine Pirro, who's now the U.S. attorney in Washington, and James Comey, who's now under indictment in North Carolina, the former FBI director, who Trump doesn't like. So that's a cool case I got going on. I got some other cases that I got going.
Whoa.
What happened?
Rich, come back.
Rich.
No, that was my fault because I was trying to remove the other things I saw on the screen, and Rich just went with it. They all disappeared all at once. Come back! I don't know if he realizes he's gone. Oops, sorry, Rich, that was me. Come back. Does he? I hope he realizes he's gone.
He probably doesn't.
Probably doesn't even realize he's gone yet.
Oh man! All right, hold on. That was me. I did. I tried to remove the clips. I was gonna say I have not warmed up to Mocha. There he is. All right.
I don't know what the heck happened there. I got kicked off.
I did that. It was my fault because I was trying to remove the other windows, and all I did was remove one, and it removed all of you.
I got disappeared.
Now we don't have any sound.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
They disappeared me. They disappeared.
Lisa's got to quit playing with buttons.
Tell her.
I'm playing with buttons. I
was saying that I'm only a few short.
Because Robbie, that was not me. I didn't touch a thing. He did that on purpose. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, so no, I got Luthmann News, which is my news account for everybody. And then I got my personal account as well, and I got some other accounts, but there's also Substack, and I got a link tree as well. I'm going to give you my link tree because that has everything that I have on it. So I have all these different accounts on every platform. Anybody who wants to like me, it helps me out because, I think I'm shadow banned in a bunch of places because I say too much controversial shit. So you know what I do. I don't care. I really don't care what I say.
I see you're getting a lot more people to watch your lives, the recent lives that you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm getting people to watch it. I don't mind that. I'm doing it for a little bit, but I do a whole different bunch of categories. Like I talk about the germ stuff, and I got a battle against him, but I got a battle against this idiot named Dinesh. He's a piece of crap. But I also do stuff with family court. I do a lot of family court stuff. Family court reform.
Guys, you should subscribe to Rich's Substack because Rich does a lot of articles on many things, many subjects, many things going on. A lot of family court. But
I also got I got some mob cases too. I'm coming out with an article about the Colombo Wars. I know you probably know about the Colombo Wars, Lisa.
Yeah,
the Colombo Wars back in the '90s, late '80s, early '90s, and Victor Arena, who was the boss, the de facto boss, the guy who started the whole war, because the real boss went away, and Vic Arena became the street boss, and then became a big fight. Well, he's still alive. He's in the '90s up in Devens, and they won't give him compassionate release. So I'm going to be doing a story about him this week. I did a story last week about a mobster too, a reformed Gambino associate he used to be named Benny the Blade Garitano, but he's no longer Benny the Blade. He's reformed. He's now a reformed former Gambino associate. And so, I talked to him about what a great guy he is.
Blade is reformed.
He's reformed. Benny the Blade is reformed now. Yes, he's a reformed Gambino associate. That's what we tell everybody. So we got that. We got some other stuff coming. We got. I do New York stuff. I do Florida stuff. I talk about Florida. I talk a lot about politics, so I know a lot of people in politics and what's going on. A lot of people don't like my politics, which is fine. You don't have to like my politics. It is what it is. But I do what I got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we just generally here, we just try to stay away from politics because we have people on both sides and in between, and you know what I mean? And I just try to keep it away from here. I've always done that from the get-go of my channel, and I know it comes up.
Well, true crime is everybody can like true crime. I do a bunch of that, and family court. Anybody can family court. It doesn't matter your political persuasion or anything else.
Right.
You get dragged in. That happens to a lot of people, And some of the
Yeah.
other stuff I do, it happens to a lot of people. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yep. Yep. Well, cool. Oh my gosh. Ah, what a day. What a day. We went over a lot in the Hale saga tonight.
Well, we did. We broke some news today.
Yes,
we
we
broke some
did.
big news about what was happening in that car, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All about the breadsticks.
Yep. All about the breadsticks. Yeah, I had no idea there was a breadsticks there. I didn't care. But we all know she's about the breadsticks, so it's big.
Piglet's all about the breadsticks. The Piglet,
Yeah,
good old Piglet.
And right now she needs to get all the breadsticks she can because I already know there's a safe harbor letter with Leslie's case, and she's going to end up having to pay legal, fees, attorney fees, in Leslie's case, and that's just as it stands right now. Forget about anything else. Megan should have gotten herself right out of that. I don't know why she jumped into that, but hey, she wanted to be relevant. She's Jeremy's #1 fan, I guess, and and now, I mean, she's infringed on a massive copyright issue where it's going to cost her, legally, because that's just how copyright infringement works. There's set standards, and she went against them, and she messed up. And I just find it ironic that Tug, who's her sidekick, and she's his, they kind of use each other. He tags her in things to support her, but she doesn't tag him to support him. Yet he incites her and eggs her on a lot of the time to make her start foaming at the mouth, in my opinion. And yet she's the one showing all this stuff that's copywriting and doing the infringing. Tug's like just showing little pieces, and if he shows a post, he doesn't show the whole thing. Megan will show the videos, the clips. She'll take things behind paywalls and she'll use those, and she can't do that. She cannot do that. It's not fair use. And then she goes and profits from it on her Rumble channel. So if she thinks Rumble's not going to know about this, Rumble already knows about it. So it's like this woman is she's really getting herself into a lot of trouble right now. And I just can't wait to see how Jerem's going to save her. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see
Jerem's not
Jerem
saving anybody. Jerem's not barely able to save himself.
I know.
He couldn't save his own relationship with Martha. He couldn't. He can't. He's got his own problems right now. He's going to tell everybody that's in his group, you know what? You're on your own, and that's going to be the end of this whole thing. You watch.
Is he going to save her from the cyber harassment that's going on?
How's he going to save her? How's he going to save anybody?
Right. Is Shaka a criminal lawyer? I mean, because is he going to defend her in criminal court? I mean, I don't know, because cyber harassment is a criminal thing,
Well, and the thing is, if this case my case doesn't get dismissed, they're all going to have to hire their own lawyers. Shaka's not going to come and represent everybody. He can't. He'd be conflicted. He's got to represent Jeremy.
How is Jeremy going to save her?
Jeremy can't save her. Jeremy's not going to hand her money to hire a lawyer. Jeremy's already paying $500,000 for his own lawyer. He's going to be $1 million if this suit goes to discovery. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
I'm telling you, this is like nobody looked into the future with that. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm not going to say I feel bad for any of them, because I don't. But when Jeremy started this going after Michelle, he literally did videos stating how Michelle would never be able to get an attorney. Jeremy thought this was going to be an open and shut case. He was going to be able to use it for, I don't know, maybe a year. You know what I mean? He never expected her to defend herself or be able to defend herself, because he went into this whole big spiel about how much it was going to cost and the retainers and all this and all that. Yet look at where we are. She's still defending herself. And look how much shit has happened in the meantime. And he's got to spend all this money on lawyers and lawyers. I mean, he made that money. He made it, whether he's making it right now or not, he has made that money for years. Because when he was doing content with Robbie, he was bringing in over $200,000 a month in YouTube. A month. Okay? And this is years later. So he's made that money to cover his attorneys. Now, whether his YouTube channel is covering those fees right now or not, I don't know. But guess what? He's in court cases where when it goes to discovery, we'll find out. Because we can subpoena records from all social media platforms. So we're going to find out. exactly what's really happening and what's really going on. We'll find out how he's trying to blame other people for the content he's putting out and how his videos are getting less views and stuff, and yet he's trying to blame everybody else or channels like me, is the reason why. If I took away his viewers, then I would have a hell of a lot more people in our channel, right? Don't you think? Rich, you would have a hell of a lot more people in your channel if you took away his viewers, right? I mean, he has 730,000 subscribers. Where'd they all go when he's only getting 25,000 views a video?
I want to say, everybody, thank you. I got 20 new subscribers in the last couple of minutes, so thank you, everybody, for that. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the anti-Hales, the anti-slap watch. What the hell's anti-slap watch? There's a Facebook page called the anti-slap watch Jeremy Hales. It's on Facebook, and all the pictures that you saw today will be put up on that website, on that Facebook page after we get off the air tonight. So you can see, you'll have all access. It's a total access. Great. Just the two of us that got together and said that we're going to document what's going on with Jeremy Hales. So I'm going to put all these pictures up so people have them for documentary purposes. And that's where a lot of the stuff gets released related to the case. And if you have anything about the case that you want to put up about the germ or anybody that's related to it, you can put it up on that site. And there's another.
Is it a group or is it a page?
It's a group, I believe. It's called. I'll tell you what it is. I'll give you the. It's facebook.com/groups/Jeremy Hales. I actually took his name on Facebook. It's been great because he's an idiot. He doesn't even have his name. I'll put it into the chat right here. That's what it's called. He's so stupid he doesn't even have his own name protected on Facebook. So that just goes to show the level of intellect that we have going on. He's a very, very stupid person. He plays it tough, but he's very, very stupid. When you feel like that, you have to be tough and you have to threaten people. You got to play tough because you're stupid. You don't have anything else going for your life. This guy doesn't have anything else going for him. Think about it.
Yeah, he tried to say that the anti-Hales ruined his Facebook or something like that. I'm like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, are you talking about that supposed fake What the Hales page?
Yeah,
he claimed that wasn't even his. He tried to say, and I think in one of the court, maybe one of the First Amendment amended complaint. No, I don't know which amended complaint, but he tried to say that one of those Facebook groups I was somehow involved in. I don't do Facebook. So, no, I wasn't involved in nothing. But if you look at everything, he said that he relied on this group, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. I guess it had too many reports on it. I don't know. But that anti-What the Hales thing or the What the Hales fake group is gone. And so, I don't know, was that what he was talking about? That group is gone? Is that how, someone ruined his Facebook? Because he's talking about having a Facebook group or Facebook Now. I don't even know. It's either they think that, like, I stalk them, which is kind of funny. No, I just go over what's going on with the Michelle thing and this whole scenario. I don't watch his Instagram or TikTok, I guess. I don't watch none of that shit. I don't watch his Facebook. I don't even know where he is on Facebook. I do know that there was that fake What the Hales group. Because there was shit about me all over it. That's it. That's the only reason why I know. Like, I don't even know all the stuff that he's got on social media. It's just the YouTube that I was watching, taking videos of, evidence. There's so much shit, dude. I don't want to watch or see any more of his stuff. And now I'm having to do the same shit for Megan and Tug. I had no idea all their Facebook posts and everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is insane how long they've been doing it, how many there are. It's crazy. But you got to save it as evidence because it's evidence, So a lot's gone down in this whole entire hell saga. It's crazy. So hopefully it'll end. One day. So it's the only one. Pretty much me too. But sometimes, someone says, did you see Jeremy's this today? I'm like, ugh. I think I see the thumbnails more than I actually see the videos. But I do watch on Sundays because we do Sundays Funday here. So there you go. What are you doing, Robbie?
Wore out.
You wore out. That's that. I bet. It wasn't that, I don't know, was it that hot today?
Oh God, it sucked in Orlando. It was so hot. Then it started raining, but it was still hot.
Yeah, my little weather thing on my computer right now is definitely off because it's telling me it's 90 degrees and mostly sunny, and it is not.
Then Patty got us dunked.
Patty got you done?
Yeah,
How did Patty get you done?
because Patty did the super chats for us to get dunked.
Oh, okay. Because I saw your live after. I didn't see it while you were live.
Okay. I went on for a little bit and then we continued it on Gatorlands live.
Oh, okay. My motion in Fed 2 case county GH's claim that the group was taken over by anti-Hales people, by the way. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I knew it was in there. I remember where it was. Good night, Michelle. Oh, so Rich, your Moses posted your link at Luthmann News. Thank you,
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, go over and subscribe to Rich. Rich has been doing a lot more live streams lately, and they're pretty
I
informative.
do them during the day. I like to do them like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I want to So
yeah, and
you
you've had a couple different people for different subjects on your panel.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot to learn about over there. So definitely go and subscribe and check it out. So, oh yeah. Anyway, so it is it's 12:30, and we've had a long weekend. I have a birthday that is coming up on Tuesday that you all know. Send those birthday copies for Gabe. Gabe's birthday's on Tuesday. We did celebrate it yesterday with Ray, and his family was here, and Kim Chuss was here. So we had fun. We're going to miss Ray. Ray's not going to be in Florida much longer. And so it was also kind of like a goodbye to Ray day. So we had a really, really good time. And Rich, wish you could have made it.
How it is.
But that's fine, Gina. Whatever floats your boats. But Tuesday, we're going to be back on Gabe's birthday. He does want to go live, so he will be here. So we should have some fun with that. And Kendra will be here as well. Robbie will be here. Rich, you're invited to come on Tuesday night if you want to. But I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Rich, thanks for coming on tonight and explaining that to us. And guys, I hope you have a great start to your week. I hope you have a great night. And prayers out to all you guys. Thank you again. We love you guys here. And I'll see you on Tuesday at 10. Maybe we'll go on a little bit earlier. I don't know. I'll talk to Tori about that. I do want to talk to Tori, see how she's doing. Prayers for Tori because she hurt her leg today. She was at the ER this evening. And so I want to find out more about that. I know she was talking about it in the chat. So I feel bad that I hurt Gabe's feelings, saying we wanted to hear this. You didn't hurt his feelings. He's fine. He's giddy. So anyway, guys, thank you again. Have a great night. And
Good night, everybody. God bless and prayers up.
Maybe we'll do a members only tomorrow. I don't know. Members only are always going to be pop-ups. So other than that, Tuesday it is. Thank you all so much and have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ta-ta for now.
Night, Ray. Toodaloo.